What name would you give me?
Let's see. Well, we got John Prost.
Jay Preezy.
JPZ is too easy though.
JP
Jeezy Peasy.
Jeezy Peasy.
Welcome to Genius. I'm gonna use that. Okay.
Yo,
welcome to
Jeezy
Genius
Peasy.
Bar.
And then Sam is just Sam.
Yeah, Sam
Yeah,
is just
that's really
Sam.
boring. I kind of hate. Can I quit? Can I be
No,
out?
Welcome to Genius Bar episode 40. What is it? 41?
Are we going?
Yeah, we got to include that as
Okay.
the beginning. Brian
Dude,
Tong
of
just gave
course
me
you're gonna use that as your outro, you little outro or intro scapegoat.
yeah.
John's sitting here, he's panicking, he's like sweating. Before the show, he's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. This is so scary. Sam's intros are just so much better than mine. Yeah.
I got Brian Tong to do it.
Welcome. So we have a guest this week.
We do, yes. Brian
Ooh, it's just
Tong,
me and the
everybody.
guest. Wow.
My
Let me
favorite
look
What's
at
up,
YouTuber.
this.
everybody? Oh,
You
come
like-
on.
you like it
come
like this?
on.
Woo, guest time.
You're two kind guys. Come on now.
All right.
We're so excited to have Brian Tong on.
My favorite
excited to be
YouTuber
here.
this week.
Ooh. That's
Wow,
kind of like,
I'm about to
genuine.
bounce now.
Yeah, I told
Yeah.
Quinn from Snazzy Labs, who was on a couple weeks ago, and I told him he was my favorite YouTuber that week. And so everyone gets that treatment.
That's
I
fair.
think
I don't
he's
know
our
if I like
third
that.
guest ever.
Yeah, third guest ever. So top 3 guests of all time.
Yes, you are in the top 3.
Impressive. Very impressive.
You are-
very impressive.
You are you're
Yeah.
my favorite Asian we've ever had on the show.
Thank you.
Whoa.
I think
Chill.
yeah, I think that's
Hey.
3, and he's the only one so far. Do we know anymore?
Wait, we've only had white people on the show.
That changes.
Yo, you better have me on a lot just to make sure you get your
I know,
quota in.
dude. Every 4 guests were like, Brian, come back on. We need Brian back on. We got to diversify.
God. It's going to be like that. Have you ever seen like those pie charts for movies? It's like which characters, like do men or women speak the most or which race? It's
Yeah.
just going to be like 0.9% of the the calendar year
Yeah.
was non-white.
After that 4th guest, Sam and I are like, oh shit, I think it's time for we need Brian again.
Dude,
Oh.
no, we're so happy to have Brian on.
Oh, man, love you guys. Love you
so
guys.
I told this story on Brian's show.
Okay, go ahead.
And I've been watching Brian since grade school. Like Brian was, I think, the first Apple YouTuber I ever watched because he had this show. What was the show at CNET called? I keep forgetting.
It's fine because you watched it so much. It was called the Apple Bite.
Yes, yeah. Okay, because I knew your podcast was the Apple Bits XL, but I was like, I knew it was something Apple. Yeah, dude, the Apple Bite. Because you'd say, Brian Tong here to see what's good and bad inside the world of Apple. Oh,
That's
Dude,
right.
you'd be
That's-
like-
you can see it
you'd
all
be
just
like,
came back to you just now.
dude, it was so good. And then you'd be like, ooh, that's a bad apple. And I would laugh so hard. I'd be like, that is a bad apple. Ha ha ha. I'm in grade school. No,
I'm
it
watching
was-
this in
it was
study
so
hall.
Good.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
man.
for real, dude. I would like watch it on the computer lab on our Macs that are, oh, it was so
Man,
good.
I
So yeah,
appreciate
Brian is, no, for real. He's an OG. He's a good person. And he had us on his show. So if you guys want more content, like check out the episode we did with him for the Apple Bits LX or XL.
Yeah. Honestly,
I'm
this
the
is.
one that's good at it.
I'm not just saying this because you're a guest on the show. You're one of my favorite humans that I've ever met in this space.
Oh,
so
man.
thanks for being on the show.
Thank you guys. I'm honored to be here. We're all creators. We're all having fun. Like, this is what's so fun being able to collab like this. We don't get to do it all the time, but when we can make time for it, it's super
Yeah.
cool. And, I've got nothing but love and respect for you for what you guys have been doing. And so it is funny to be called the OG. Sometimes I don't think about it, but I have been doing it for a long time.
Are you the OG Apple show?
I mean,
I would say
I
so.
would
I would
argue
say that.
probably. I mean, we're talking about 10 plus years ago.
Yeah,
And
you
this is
paved the
when-
way.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say that per se, but this is before
You don't have to. I
was
said it.
YouTube. Yeah, but now like YouTubers that have kind of caught that massive wave, or guys that are doing some great stuff like you guys
Uh-huh.
are crushing it. So I'm just I don't know, I'm just lucky. I feel like I'm happy to kind of be a part of this community and still bring some laughs and some content and be able to just do cool stuff.
Yeah, I just realized this sounds like the end of the show. It sounds like we were just
It
closing
really
out.
does.
Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week.
Dude.
It's a love
Oh,
fest.
Wait. I have to stream. Okay, I have to share my screen and just show the
Oh,
people
no.
what I'm talking about on video.
Are you for
because dude, it's so good. Just the intro was literally the most hype thing I'd ever seen. Okay,
Oh,
With
no,
the
I
grab
don't
the
know.
apple with the silhouette and stuff like that. Is that
Yes,
the one? Or
yes,
there-
okay.
We updated it later on, but yes.
So this one is 12 years ago. Look at
12
this.
years ago.
Look at this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I gotta tell you,
I'm Brian Tong, and welcome to the Apple Bite.
Whoa, got
Got
emaciated.
inside the world of Apple. So let's
Dude.
get to the stories. The iPhone
Okay,
5GS
so
is
okay, come back now. So
Dude.
check this out. So I gotta tell you
Trying
this.
to come back.
This is fun. So that intro, right? It was
Yeah.
during the peak of iPod. I think it was actually during around iPods, iPhones. I wanted to capture
Oh,
that
like during those
essence-
commercials?
Yeah, the essence of like the silhouette, right, with the colored
Yes.
background, and But what happened is when I proposed the idea, our team's like, and this is a long time ago, right? My team's
Yeah.
like, we're not gonna be able to pull that off. I'm like, no. If we get a green screen, the lighting is harsh enough, and it highlights me, will turn me black and white. It'll work, and then I'll eat the apple, I'll shove it to the camera, and then we'll do
Yeah.
like this teleport wormhole. But there was resistance. To be honest, actually, I'll tell you another funny story. The initial show was actually not called Apple Bite. The initial show was actually called Apple Core. But what happened is there was a reporter, and I didn't even know this, who had a beat at my old employer that was really offended that we were going to
What?
take the name Apple Core. So it actually forced me to be more, think even harder. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to take a bite of the apple. Apple Bite. Oh, BYTE Bite. And at the time
Yeah.
when like things, when you spell things the digital way, it's cooler.
Yeah.
Right back then, right back then, right? And so that's how the show came into being. And it actually stuck. It was actually better because now if I said like, welcome to the Apple Core, it doesn't have the same ring. I think Apple Bite sounds
Yeah.
better. And then I do like little skits or I do music videos. I don't know if you saw any of those back in the day. I mean, but we do some crazy ones.
Oh yeah, dude.
And when I'd call out like Apple Bite, it just sounds so much better than saying Apple Core. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Dude, it's so funny because same thing with Front Page Tech. So a lot of inspiration for Front Page Tech. Like I started using a green screen because you were using a green screen.
Oh man.
That's where it came from on Front Page Tech. Yeah. So I remember like I used to record on just a white backdrop. I think when I started Front Page Tech, the first episode was like a white bed sheet and 7 lamps. Just like a bunch of
Amazing.
different colored lamps. It was a mess. But I recorded on a white bed sheet. And then I saw your show and I was like, man, if I could just I would look like a TV show if I just had a green screen. The first day I got a green screen, it took me 15 hours to edit the video. And I hated my life. It was the worst. I was like, and I was like, are they editing this show for 15 hours? Like, it's not worth it. It is not worth it for 15 hours. And here we are. I'm still using a green screen. But now your show, technically, you're on your own now on YouTube, and it's Apple Bits your Apple show on YouTube is called Apple Bits, and then your podcast is Apple Bits XL.
Yeah, I just wanted to keep. Okay, people that are like, why do you keep on saying LX? It's because I said the name of my show incorrectly when these dudes were on my show. How pathetic was that? How pathetic is that?
Apple
But
Bits LX.
I just kind of, because the YouTube model allows you, really, it's like people want to connect to your information and who you are.
Mhm.
It was like, and I'm doing this all on my own now. So yeah, it couldn't be as flashy, but as long as it carried the essence, and quite honestly, I wanted to do more than just Apple stuff. So I'll review some Samsung stuff. I'll review some Google stuff. I'll do some TVs. I'll do headphones. Like I was able to get the freedom that I could never have before. And I love that. So being able to and then build relationships with these companies, because guess what? I'm actually covering their stuff. That's been awesome too. So, and also really just like doing whatever the hell I want, and sometimes look, I make the right choices. Sometimes I don't, to be honest with you. I deliberately will do videos because they just make me feel good to do. And I know that they're probably not going to perform the best, but I don't care. So I want to enjoy this journey. And look, we know that we can sometimes be slaves to the algorithm, but I think for me to keep kind of keep my spirit and keep my passion and love for this, I've got to be able to do that type of stuff. So I'm going to tease this. I don't know if it's going to drop in time because there's some scheduling things, but there's another music video in the works that will potentially drop in the next week. If a big confirmed location happens this week that I've been told is supposed to, but I'm still getting the final thumbs up. I know sounds like, what? I haven't done a music video in about 3 years. The last music video I did.
What was it for?
It out, what the last music video I did?
Yeah, because it's vaguely in my memory.
last music video I did was an iPhone 11 Pro parody of Old Town Road. If you
yes,
if you search
I
iPhone
remember.
11, if you search iPhone 11 Old Town Road, Sam,
Yes.
you will see it.
I
and
just found it.
We shot the whole thing with an iPhone 11 Pro, the whole thing in one day in the
Are you
blistering
gonna pull it
sun.
up, Sam? Are we allowed to show it? Are you gonna copyright strike
Yeah,
us?
yeah.
If we show it.
Just turn the volume down. Don't play the volume. Just show, like, you could show a few shots, but we went in on it, and
Dude.
these things take a long time to put together.
Yes.
Dude.
You know, walking with the cowboy
What?
boots. This is a ghost town. This is an old ghost town. Man, I even forgot what it's called, but it has like its own train. It has these amazing
What?
hills. And
Wait,
so
this
to
is
kind of
so
capture the essence of it.
cool.
And the lyrics obviously always kind of have a little catch to it, but yeah,
Yeah,
it-
of course.
Of course.
all shot
Wait,
on
this
iPhone
is
11 Pro. This
literally-
entire video.
Bro, can we film a music video like this? I've had ideas in my own mind to like do things like this, and like you've literally been doing it all along. Like these ideas have
Yeah,
been
dude, he's
fleshed
the
out by,
OG.
like-
He's been doing it all
I-
since before we
Dude.
were born. Apparently, the dude's like 84. I just found out.
I got to be honest with you, Brian. I lost you for a couple
It's
of years.
fine.
Like
A lot of
because
people
what-
did.
What year did the Apple Bite stop? Because it wasn't you stopped the Apple Bite before you went independent, right?
No, I stopped it when I went independent. When I left, I had to basically
What?
figure out, what am I gonna do? So
Mhm.
I literally decided,
Oh.
it's as if you're like rebooting your career,
Oh,
literally rebooting
that's
it. But
weird.
so it was like, trust me, it was scary. Like I didn't make enough.
Oh,
I didn't have major savings like piled on the side. I didn't make enough money to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just like figure this
I'm
out
just
in
gonna
6
do this
months
now.
or so.
It'll be fun.
yeah.
No, it was
yeah.
like, yo, you got 3 months to like figure out what direction you're gonna do. Start putting out content. I was lucky enough to get support from an amazing Patreon crowd that helped kind of support some of my content as well.
Yeah, I remember when you
kept
first
me
started.
afloat.
Yeah.
For year one, like
Nice.
that was huge, and I was fortunate enough to get some side projects that allowed me to get through year 1.5. It's kind of crazy how sometimes the universe works, but I feel very lucky for it. So
Isn't it fun now
but
though
yeah.
that like no one can turn down your crazy ideas?
oh, I guess, yeah. Oh no, of course. It's just what it is it takes more time to execute it because I don't have
Mhm. You don't have the
a
team.
team
Yeah.
Mm.
with me 24/7. That's obviously the goal, but there is kind of a balance of like how much help do I need, and also for my sanity. I think 2022 is the year where I'm going to embrace a little more sanity, get someone to help me edit my stuff for the first time.
Mhm.
But like JP is talking, or Jeezy Peasy is saying,
Jeezy
like,
peasy.
when you guys edit your stuff, there is part of it that you kind of know exactly what you're looking for.
Yes.
Right? And
yeah.
by
Yeah.
handcrafting it, especially with some of my stupid ass skits and music videos that I used to do, it's really important to like maintain that essence of what we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, dude,
So-
because that's a tough call. Is I've thought about hiring like an editor because that's what takes so long. It's just I'm not like because I was like, what is the reason really? And it's genuinely I'm not willing to give up that piece of the money yet because I wouldn't want it to be a situation where it's like, oh, they just get 60K like as a freelance person. Like no, I would want it like very good pay, very good benefits, like some sort of like rev share. Like I wouldn't want it to just be like barely paying them the minimum just so like I get even richer and they barely make any money. Like that that just wouldn't sit right in my heart. And I feel like affording an employee like that would be I'm just not willing to give up like a lot of money yet. Cause it's like when
Well,
it's slow now, I'm sure you've experienced this, Brian. It's like, well, you don't really need an editor when there's nothing coming out. It's just when it's crazy.
Yeah, we've had periods where like the news gets slow, and like Sam will come on the podcast and be like, "I think this is it. I think it's over. Our careers are
Well, that-
over."
Literally every
that's why,
time.
right? It's so fascinating that people don't understand. Like we are dependent on these products to come out, and we have January, February, March, early March. Those are lean ass months. I think
Yeah.
like there's really, I mean, I think more than anything, you and John stir the pot up during those months to help generate some more buzz and content. But when there's
I have
really
to
not
make up
much
like
happening,
I have to make up Apple Watch leaks about how like the sides are going to be flat or something crazy.
I love how you own that. But I think as a creator, it's there's ebbs and flows. There's months where I'm like, I'm glad I had those good 2 months that I saved for, knowing that this month is not the best month. Even with ads,
yes.
even with the sponsorships and stuff like that, like, there's a lot that
Yeah.
goes on behind the scenes here.
Too much.
Hey, speaking of
sometimes.
sponsors,
Oh yeah, I guess we have some of those.
John, you know what I love?
I can think of a possible 3 choices you're about to go with, but go ahead. Yes.
John, I love Policy Genius, who
You love
sponsored
Policy
today's
Genius?
episode of the Genius Bar. John, I do. I will, and I'm not afraid to say it. You've been bullying me to not speak
Yeah.
my truth, and today I am coming clean. I freaking love Policy Genius, John, because I'm a young adult. I'm a young dude, and I said, I want to get the best deal on my insurance, right? My home and auto, but I don't know where to start. But see, with Policy Genius, they help you compare all these quotes together. And then you can find what the best rates are for you and get the best possible deal. Because, John, did you know that Policy Genius, they've saved customers an average of $1,250 per year over
That's
what
a
they
lot.
were paying for their
That's a
home and
lot
auto
of
insurance?
dollars. That's a lot of dollars,
That's
and
new
they do all the
customers-
work for you.
Yeah, new customers saving an average of $435 United States dollar per year on auto insurance.
Not
And
Canadian.
$350. No, we're talking USD, dog. $350 per year on home insurance. That's how good Policy Genius is. So you just go to Policy Genius, you answer a few quick questions about yourself and your property or your car, and then they take it from there. They'll compare rates from America's top insurers, from Progressive to Allstate, to find your lowest quotes. And the Policy Team, the Policy Team, the Policy
The
Genius,
Policy
the
Team.
Dream Team at Policy Genius. They're gonna find you the best deals, and they'll switch you over for free if they find a better rate over what you're paying. Isn't that incredible, John?
That's pretty incredible. And all you got to do is go to policygenius.com. The links are in the show notes if you're listening on like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever, or in the description on YouTube. It's like, are you really going to say no to extra money? Because that's what they're doing. They're saving you money, and you have some extra to buy like an easy bake oven or whatever whatever your little heart desires. Christmas is coming. It's nice. It's a nice time to save some money. Policygenius.com. And of course, a huge thanks to Policy Genius for supporting this episode of
The Genius Bar.
Yeah! Okay. So I'm not gonna. I need to hit you guys with a hypothetical.
Oh my God.
Let's say
What is he gonna say?
hypothetically, I leak tech products.
Mhm.
Hypothetically,
Okay.
of course.
Yeah, I've heard.
Let's say hypothetically, last week or the week before, I posted pictures of the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra
Sure.
on my website
Sure.
and on my YouTube channel. Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, I could see someone who has leaked things before. I could see how a hypothetical leaker would leak again.
Yes. And so hypothetically saying I did all that stuff, let's then also
Mhm.
hypothetically say that last week Samsung's lawyers contacted me. Hypothetically.
Really?
And they are not pleased. They hit me with what you would call a cease and desist. And I forget the fucking organization. It's like the firm, their attorney's firm, like reached out to me, all official, and they basically were like, "Hey, number one, do not leak anything that you know, ever. Like, don't do it again. Take down the pictures that I posted." And they linked, dude. It was so funny, like, because they linked hypothetically. They linked the episode where I leaked the pictures, and literally the episode starts out with a fart noise. And just thinking about lawyers sitting down, like writing an official letter and linking like the big bad man from YouTube, and it's like I'm just making fart. That's who they sent a letter to a guy making fart noises on the internet. Hypothetically, of
Damn,
course.
that's pretty good. That'd
yeah,
be pretty hypothetically funny.
And so they wanted me to. They know that I know more information because while they were investigating that leak, I then leaked the date and time for both of their events next year. For next year, and so they were like, anything that you know, stop posting it. Also, take down the images immediately, and
They're already out.
hypothetically give up your source. So they wanted my cooperation to give up the source, give the name of the person, which
Or
just
people.
yeah, or
more
people.
likely.
Just and for the record, I could even if I was like, which is not how it works, but even if I was subpoenaed or something and I had to go to court, they could go through all my devices and they would not find the person because I never know the name of the person usually. I don't know where they work exactly, and a lot of the like the blocking out of important information in the image is done from the source. I tell them to do it so that way I don't have any raw images in my possession that could get them identified. So even I don't know their exact name and stuff like that. So all that we work really hard to protect sources, obviously behind the scenes. But hypothetically, Samsung's like, take the images down, don't say anything ever again, and also give up your source. And it was like, it was just a lot of demands in one letter. If I were to receive such a letter, hypothetically,
Okay.
But like, so I'm working with a lawyer, and we're going to come out with an official response because they asked for one, hypothetically.
Yeah.
But in our official response, we were making clear that we are willing to take it to court because if they wanted to pursue this, that's fine. I think that because frontpagetech.com and the YouTube channel is not like The Verge, you know, they think I'm just going to like cower down and just be like, okay, I'm sorry, and take everything down. But the images, I posted them, yes, but they're all over the internet now. Like thousands of videos have been made, thousands of articles. I mean, obviously you can't, just because I take it down doesn't mean it's going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think it's important for something like this to go to court. If that's what they want to do, that's fine. I think it's important for independent news sources like frontpagetech.com or like appletrack.com that there's something on record of a case happening where, you know, a big bad company was like trying to scare you legally to take stuff down, and we live in the U.S. We're protected by freedom of the press, and I think there will be some decisions that need to be made in the court of like, is this YouTuber, does that count as journalism? Or like frontpagetech.com, do we consider that press? And also like there's shield laws like protecting sources. Like they can't come to me and be like, give up your source. We need you to snitch on the source. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
Even if I did know who they were, I wouldn't do it. So it's very
ethical.
interesting because I've leaked a lot of stuff. I guess technically that's my first time releasing a real. This is why we always make renders. People were like, how come you were okay with posting pictures this time, but you do renders for everything else? Boom. My email inbox. That's why, because like a few days later, you know, I get a letter, but I'm curious, Brian, let's say you hypothetically have you post something on your YouTube channel, you leak a picture, and you get a cease and desist. What does your heart tell you is right? A source, you didn't pay for these pictures, you didn't solicit these pictures, you were freely sent them. What does your heart tell you? Do you take down the piece of content or do you fight it?
No, if it's done ethically in the right, correct way, and it is, you know, a flow of information that comes to me, if that happened, I don't see any problem with doing that unless, you know, I violated some law by acquiring it. Then yeah, maybe I'd be a little scared.
Yeah.
And look, there's people that go about this in many different ways, and they don't even reveal if they did it legally or they paid someone X, Y, and Z. I mean, we've seen other.
Well, we know
a
few people in the industry and how they get stuff, and it's not legal.
Correct, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, if someone hands this to you and it's given to you and it proves to be accurate and they volunteered that information to you, and quite honestly, your job is actually being kind of the source of a lot of these high profile leaks.
Yeah.
I don't see the problem in it, quite honestly. Now, does Samsung not like you? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
right.
Yeah. But have you done anything ethically wrong? No.
So like, and that was one of the first, you know, a lawyer's first thing is like, okay, so what you tell me is in confidence. Are we going to take this to court and find something that would flip this case around? Like, no, I mean, they could literally go through my device and they'd find the pictures, obviously, but you wouldn't be able to identify the person. Like, it would be impossible. And that's I don't understand. What I think is actually going on is they're just trying to, this was just a Hail Mary, and they're just hoping that I'm just like, I get scared, I'm like, and I take it down, because anyone can send a cease and desist. You can say whatever you want. You know, I don't have to do anything legally based on that. They could, you know, take it further and take it to court, because they gave me a deadline, which was like today, to respond.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, yeah. But that I feel like, and it makes me wonder how many other people they do this to that never speak up. That just like, not just Samsung, but Apple or any other, big company with a lot of money behind them. They're just like, hey, stop it. And it scares the person. It scares something like a YouTuber or just someone with a smaller website where they're like, or they just feel like they have to listen and they take it down and it works. Like they scared them. They had no legal ground, but it scared them enough. And maybe that's why they send the letters. I don't know.
Well, no, that's the thing, because you have, like you told me months ago, you were like, I have a lawyer on retainer now. That's like, before there was any season, that you were just like, this is just like something for me as a business person at this point in my career.
Yeah.
And like, you can do that and you are that's economically viable for you to do that. But it's like, Front Page Tech 3 years ago, you would have had a lawyer 3 years ago. You couldn't have afforded it. So if you would have gotten a letter, you would have been like, well, I don't have enough money. So sure, I'll take it down.
Probably. I would have been like, not take any chances and just remove it.
Like we're finally at this spot where we have enough power with our platforms to be like, hold on.
Yeah.
Before we do this bullying, let's like take a step back.
Yeah. And, I'm pretty confident that if it went to court, we would win. But even if we didn't, I mean, it would suck really hard. But I think it's more important. Like it would make me feel icky. Like I wouldn't feel right with myself if I listened. Like I think it's important for people in our industry to just to fight this, because it sets a bad precedent to me if I remove the content, because it's just like, I don't know, if it wasn't me, like what if it was Sam? Like if Sam posted an image of something and, they went after appletrack.com, what would I tell Sam? What advice would I be giving him? And I feel like I wouldn't be like, yeah, man, just take it down. Just avoid it.
No, I'm a principle guy. I'm very similar to you, John. Like I'm always about what's right. That's like why I like sued Amazon back in the day to get like paid for something on their website. And it's why I almost sued UPS last year when my phone that I shipped mysteriously went missing. And, like someone clearly took it out of the box. It was an employee. And, we figured it out without like having to go to that level. But I'm always just like, you guys know what's right. Like, Samsung knows you probably, like, I'm sure they did a little investigation. We're like, oh,
dude,
like he didn't do anything wrong.
They like used my full name, like, which is not like just readily available online. I mean, I guess they used my full name. They used they CC'd multiple email addresses of mine going back years to make sure that I got the email. And
That's crazy.
it was, I mean, lawyers, they sat down and it's funny. They looked at me, they watched that video. Like a bunch of like very official people just sitting there like this. Mad. Well, this guy's making fart jokes and showing a picture of a phone.
I think the other thing, when you talk about there is a lot of bullying power, especially from these big companies. And what you always have to remember, if you can fight it, if a lawyer is coming at you, that means you need to lawyer up too, right? If one side has any type of lawyer coming for you or at you, and you feel like you haven't done anything wrong, if you have the resources to fight back, you need to fight back.
Yeah,
fundamentally, So you're doing the right thing for yourself, and like it'll be interesting to see how far they push this, right?
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's the word.
Because that'll be another that could take it up another level, and in a maybe an intentional or unintentional way for you, it's even, I think the YouTube community has been able to get more legitimacy over the years as actual sources of information, valid opinions. And I think this, if this escalates, and let's say you get to the point where, you do end up winning this case or whatever happens with it, it kind of puts another feather in the cap of the community as a whole. Not that you're trying to be a champion for everyone, but it would
be that's
like,
true.
Hey, there's a point of legitimacy that, the quote unquote, the YouTubers or the YouTube content creators do have viability in this space just as much as a large outlet. Because look, there's plenty of large publications that still don't respect YouTubers. I know them.
And I reached out to I'm not gonna name drop any publications, but I talked to quite a few of them. Like reached out to like the founder of a lot of these websites, and it was like, present the situation to them, and if it was them, what would they do? And I want to say a good 75% who have gotten a cease and desist before just respected the cease and desist. And that troubles me greatly. That I'm just like, like it was a really big deal to me. That I got this, and I'm just a YouTube guy, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to take the images down. That it makes me feel bad if I do that. I don't like how that would make me feel. Where these other publications, I don't know, maybe they're just like, maybe they are too scared to keep stuff up, or I
The
don't
other
know.
thing is they have relationships with these companies for coverage.
Yeah, yes, that's
So
also
there's a
another good
difference
point.
there, right? Like
I don't have a relationship with anybody.
I'll tell you a quick story that happened in my past. There was like a I guess called a keynote or a reveal,
Mhm.
and at the time the outlet that I was working for wasn't invited, and they, one of our producers wanted to push to ask why we weren't there. So what they had us do is we went to the site of this reveal with our cameras, and they said, you need to ask someone on the record why we're not why we can't be a part of this reveal.
Right.
That action in itself, and it wasn't worth it. But look, when you have a boss that wants you to do something and you're in a field where you answer to a boss, even if you tell them, let's not do it, you still have to do it. They said, I'm your boss. I'm not asking you to do this. You're going to do this.
Right.
Okay. So fine. Let's play that way. We went up to someone with a camera
Oh, no.
and asked them on the record. Let's just say the relationship was significantly hampered after that point for at least 5 years until that person no longer was at the company and things had blown over some. But that's, when you talk about some of these larger outlets, they have relationships at stake. And so
Yeah.
they're going to weigh out this, whether it's worth putting this image up and basically severing a relationship that's taken 10, 15 years to develop.
Yeah,
Or-
that's a good point. Yeah.
In the long run, take down the pictures and maintain the relationship, even though there'll be a little tense moments between the two. They responded and things end up blowing over. So
Yeah.
there's a different place with the context.
Yeah,
of your
that's a really good
relationship
point.
to
So
these
it's not
companies.
for them. It's not necessarily like whether they think they have legal ground or not. It's just like, listen, I don't want to cause any more trouble, and the relationship they want to continue it. So,
Like,
well,
for
good news
example,
for
right?
me,
Those
I don't
oh, sorry,
work with
go ahead.
Samsung.
Yeah, and the other thing is, remember, these companies are getting ads run on their websites by Samsung.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say that
These major
that's something
outlets.
I've seen a lot, is that they're doing proprietary advertising, and that's where, I mean, to me that's unethical. If you're gonna bend if you're gonna bend the knee strictly because you have money flowing in from this company, actually I don't think that's, to me, unethical. I'm pretty sure if you asked a board of journalists that is
Yeah.
unethical
Yeah.
behavior
Yeah.
to not follow.
it's
a
like
story
very
because there's
unbiased
money on
review
the
of
table.
Samsung Galaxy S21 with like a big banner ad at the top for
Yeah.
Well,
a full.
you know,
Yeah,
they
I've-
they
I've-
they
like,
I think
I've
they
seen
look at it as
that.
like separating it. They try to separate, right? Like almost
Yeah.
like church and state. Oh, the business marketing ads have nothing to do with the coverage that we do. It's not true.
Yeah,
It's just not true.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
very interesting. That's something I didn't consider. Like when I when I talk to these other people behind the scenes, I'm like, what would you guys do? And they'd be like, oh yeah, we'd take it down. And at first I'm like, why the hell was that why was that answer so easy? And now I see, I'm not saying I would like to say that if I had a relationship with Samsung and they sent a cease and desist, I would act the same way. I'd be like, no, these images are going to stay up. But I don't know. I guess it depends on what the relationship is worth, and it's hard to judge that way.
I
Here's
think
the
an
thing,
interesting.
though, yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Sam.
No, I was just gonna say that the thing is, like, yeah, Brian, you go. I feel like my thought wasn't fully formed.
He's gonna
Oh,
let it simmer.
Well, now
Yeah,
I
I need to
stopped
think
thinking
on it
about
more.
my thought. I think
It's just
All
like
right, you think my
Brian's
thought,
got
and I'll think
Brian's
your
got a
thought.
thought right here, and then Sam goes, he just throws it away. He's like, I don't even need it now.
Yeah, now now it's just erased. Should
Okay,
we just
good.
restart? Should we reset?
Yeah. How about we reset with our friends over at Mint Mobile?
Oh, John.
Brand new sponsor on the show. First time for Mint Mobile, everybody! Yay! Mint Mobile, first time on the show. First time on the show, Mint
Dude.
Mobile.
dude,
Oh,
is it.
Oh, is the SIM in your phone?
Yeah, dude, I've been using it for months, baby.
Well,
Use
good
this
because dude, it's like, why?
It's so
Okay,
cool.
I just have a question.
It's so cool.
Why would anybody use a why would you sign a contract or why would you use any other cellular carrier that's like where you pay like $80 a month, $100 a month when you know Mint
Why would
Mobile
you, John?
exists? Do you
Why
know?
Would you?
I wouldn't.
I don't know.
Dude,
I don't know.
so okay, listen. I need you to understand.
Okay.
For $15 a month. Okay, it starts at $15 a month. And there's if you hate it, it's one of those things where if you hate it, it just goes away. You just I go to some other carrier and that's it. Like I feel like when you go to any other carrier and you're like, I want to try this, they're like, okay, but you're gonna try for a whole year. Like they lock you in, or they have some sort of crazy like, okay, yeah, technically we don't require contracts, but we did subsidize your phone for you. So you make payments on your phone for the rest of the year. And if you want to leave us, you're going to have to pay for the rest of that phone. No. With Mint Mobile, you just bring your own phone, you throw the SIM in, and that's it. That's all.
Dude, it's so good. I've been using it all the time. Like there's been times when my other carrier, like the main one doesn't work. So I've been using it as a secondary SIM, like for a business line.
Uh-huh.
It's really cool. Like I'll call my friends and I'll be like, hello, is this Mr. So, and they'll be like, who is this? And I'll be like, yo, it's just me. And then they're like
it's
oh,
Sam,
what
it's
number
Sam
is
on
this?
Mint Mobile.
No, dude, it's so cool. Like I feel like a little executive. I showed you guys I got the dual SIM going. I tweeted
Yeah,
about it.
it
Like I
looks
really
very
feel like a
professional.
business person. I got like my eSIM going. I got the physical SIM. Yeah, they literally mail you a SIM. It comes super quick and you stick in your phone. That's what you do. You go whoop, just like that. And then the SIM card is inside.
Yeah.
And it's really just great coverage.
And right
like,
now-
what are the it's just great. Go
Right now,
go
it's
ahead, sorry.
it's the holidays, so they are doing something special for you. Right now, when you switch to Mint Mobile and buy a 3-month plan, so they have a bunch of stuff. Like you can buy in bulk, and if you buy in bulk, like you get a 3-month plan, you save a bit of money. You can get up to like a year plan and save a ton of money. It's pretty crazy. But when you sign up right now, you switch to Mint Mobile and you buy any 3-month plan, you will get another 3 months for free. That's 6 months, and it's like buy one get one, except it's in months. Look at Brian trying
That's
to do math.
actually kind of insane. I didn't know the deal was that crazy. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
mintmobile.com/genius.
All plans come with unlimited talk and
mintmobile.com/genius.
text plus high-speed data
Just do
delivered
it.
on the nation's largest 5G network. That's pretty crazy. Mintmobile.com/genius.
Yeah, I'm just like, I just love it so much. Like, yeah, just do it. This is one of those
Just do
reads
it.
where I'm just like yeah, like it's just so good. I don't know. I was just stunned. Like it's so cool that they sent it to us, and I just like feel like a little executive now. So
I
you
don't
guys
want
can
to.
feel
I don't
like
want
a
to
little
brag, but they
executive.
did send. Obviously, we don't talk about anything on the show that we don't try ourselves. And Mint
Yeah, I've been
Mobile
using
sent us
this.
both SIMs that were good for 12 months. So they just gave us a year full of service for free. Okay, I'll take it. It feels like cheating. This podcast is a cheat code. Okay,
But
thank
you
you,
guys
Mint
can
Mobile,
get 3
for
months and 3
supporting this
plus
show.
more months. Mintmobile.com/genius. Love you guys. Bye.
All right.
I love how
So
Brian during those ad reads is like, I'm so uncomfortable. Why am
no,
I just
dude,
sitting
he's
here?
still like he was like counting and doing the math with the sands. He's such a professional. Like on the spot, can put on a show for you. That's why I wish I was Brian Tong.
Oh, stop
Yeah,
it, guys. You
me
guys,
too.
come
Me
on.
too.
Let's take the brown off the nose, okay? Come on, guys.
No, it's fine.
We are equals. We are peers, man.
No,
The Genius
no,
Bar.
not.
Dude, this is literally like John and I talk so much smack about like Apple, but like if Tim Cook came on the podcast, we would be
Uh-huh.
like, oh, hi Tim, how are you? We love you so much. I'd
We
be like,
love your products. You're the best.
You could maybe make the iPad OS better, but you don't have to. Like, don't feel like you have to.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Okay.
okay, bud. It's okay.
Sam, I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
in time,
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
you will develop the fortitude to ask questions to those type of level of people that will make you uncomfortable and them uncomfortable in a way that is still tactful to get an answer that they respect. And you will not roll over. You will not roll over.
You got that,
No,
Sam?
I feel like I would actually like I'm mainly joking. I think I would push I think I would push decently hard. Maybe not for my first ever interview, like with Tim. I would want to develop a rapport though, right? Because that's how you can
course.
actually get to the truth.
Yeah.
Of course.
So
Of course you've
have
got
you
to.
ever interviewed anybody over at Apple, Brian? Like have you gone
I have. I mean, I've done with the iPad team. I've done it with the Mac OS team. Sometimes they
Nice.
throw me a few bones and I ask them questions that
Yeah.
I know they're not going to necessarily always answer, but sometimes you can push them in directions, or based on what they don't tell you, actually will also reveal answers.
Yeah.
So you there's a lot of times where you've got to ask questions knowing you're not going to get an answer, but the way you ask them and the way they respond actually gives you an answer. So that's always to me, I'm looking out for the community, to the user, and they know that I use a lot of Apple products, but there's still things that I think that the community wants to know and is curious about, and I'll ask them. So that's my job. And if they don't like it, I can't really stop that from being kind of the core of who I am. And if it results in, maybe some ruffled feathers, I think as long as they respect where it's coming from and the intention, and it's not a gotcha intention, it's really, what is it? There's a difference. There's some people that ask stupid ass questions to try and be like, yeah, gotcha. And then come out with a stupid article with a headline that is just completely manufactured. That's not what we're here for.
Yeah.
Have you met Tim before, Brian?
Just at like a store opening, but not.
Was it that one in LA?
I did meet him, but just casually.
Was it the Apple Tower Theater?
Do you want me to blow your mind even more because you're asking about Tim Cook?
Yeah.
Don't ask about Tim Cook.
Yeah.
Have I met SJ?
Okay, I will ask. I want to do it. I want to do the asking. Brian Tong, have you ever met Steve Jobs?
Even better. I used to work at the
What does that
Apple
mean?
retail store in Palo Alto. Now,
Okay.
at the time,
Sorry, wrong soundbite.
what
Fuck.
the hell was
God.
that?
Thank you for your patronage.
Please hold, Brian.
I don't have the right.
You need to shut the fuck.
That's not it. This lied. This is outdated. It said there was one that would say, yeah, like, woo,
Okay.
like,
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So, how about this? How about John can set up and ask me the question again?
okay. Let's
Okay.
redo it.
This is staying in the show, by the way. I'm not editing this out. We're keeping Sam's fuck up in there. Brian Tong, have you ever met Steve Jobs?
The answer is, I'll even do you one better, not just meet. I used to work. What is going on in the background?
Dude, Sam
It's the
is
hype.
the worst.
It's the hype.
I can barely hear the hype. It's like so low.
Sam is the worst.
In a world where Brian Tong has met Steve Jobs.
Okay.
This is
Better.
hype. Okay, go ahead.
Better.
Sorry.
Okay. So
You're the worst, Sam.
back in the day, Apple had a store in Palo Alto. It was the number 2 retail store ever in Apple
Okay.
retail. So this is
Whoa.
somewhere around the late 2000s. No, mid 2000s. Okay.
Okay.
So guess where Steve Jobs lives? In Palo Alto. Guess what was Steve Jobs' favorite store to visit?
I wonder.
Because Apple retail was an experiment at the time. Remember, people were like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
People were like, what are you doing, Apple? Getting into retail. Gateway had just recently folded. They weren't doing so hot. Apple's like, no, we're going to do it our way. So he would come into the store almost every weekend
What?
to just stand in the store, and he would scan the store, and he would like literally, people would freeze. People would
I
be,
would
like,
shit
on
myself
eggshells.
for real.
No, because he was seeing what operated. He would ask the retail employees like, oh, what's working, what's not. This is Steve Jobs. And also at this time, he was intimidating. He was intimidating. Okay.
This is scary,
let's put it that
Jobs.
way. So I have two. Do you want to hear both these stories? I have two great
Of course,
Yes,
we want to
of
hear both.
course. Also-
bro, you have 2 Steve Jobs stories on an Apple podcast. Half
Oh,
the
we only have
audience is
time for one.
They've already changed their underpants like
Okay.
3 times.
Okay,
Yeah.
you have. I think you did it 5
Yeah,
already.
sorry.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna need a break. I'm gonna need a
Okay.
hot break. Okay,
So
real quick, before we into the stories about Steve, I know that you said you were intimidated, or that he was
I wasn't.
intimidating.
I was.
Okay, I guess that's my question. Were people just intimidated because it's Steve fucking Jobs that walked in the store, or did he give off like, what was his attitude in the store? Was he scary because he appeared scary and it was like no nonsense, or was he like just sort of laid back?
If you talked to him as a customer, he would be very nice and friendly, but he still had intimidating energy because he is who he was, right?
Yeah,
Like it's pretty much like one of the goats of tech. And also people, it's like if you saw Michael Jordan in a store,
Yeah.
yeah,
you'd also be intimidated by Michael Jordan no matter how nice he is.
yeah.
Steve Jobs was like that, but he was very nice to customers. I'll tell you my nice story. This is a great
Okay, go
nice
ahead.
story. Okay, first story.
Oh, wait, does that mean there's a not nice story?
No. The other
Okay.
stories actually like blow my mind, but I can't believe it happened
Okay.
to me.
Okay.
But it's still really cool. Okay,
Okay.
and it's actually indicative of who Steve Jobs was. Okay, first story. So we're at the register. At the time, there were no people with Apple Pay little scanners in their pockets. You had to go up to a register. There were only 2
Whoa.
registers on an iMac, which made the store very inefficient. Okay, but actually, it might be a little more inefficient now because you don't know who to talk to. But you'd go into the store. So Steve Jobs would come in once in a while. He came and he would buy his own software. Okay. One small funny story is that when he went up to the register one time, I happened to be working on the register next to the one he went up to, and he walked up with this little like game for his kids. And the employee at the register said, "Do I just give this to you?"
That's
They were
what I
so
would say. Like,
nervous.
what?
They were so nervous. They're like, "So, do I just give this to you?" And he
What
said,
is
"No."
what is the Steve Jobs policy at this store?
Yeah, for real.
And she was like, "No, just ring me up like like a normal customer." And they were like, like you could tell they were freaking out because he
That's
didn't come into the
incredible.
store all the time. But so when he came to the store, it was a big deal. But again, he came in a lot because we were his like test store. He wanted to see what worked, what sections, how the flowed, how people came. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a quick one, but it's actually that's one of 3. The second story
Okay.
is again, he's at a register. I'm at the register next to him. He comes up to buy something. There is a lady next to him at the other register, and she starts staring at him really long and really awkward. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, she's gonna do this. She's gonna do this. She says to SJ, she's like, "Excuse me,
Oh, no.
do you work for Apple?" And
Oh.
everyone is like,
No.
so there's like, literally, like, it feels like time pauses.
Tell me
yeah.
he said no. Apple works
And-
for me.
No, he turns and looks at her with his little coy smile. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I work for the Mac division." And she's like, and she's like, "Oh, okay." Steve Jobs
That's such a Steve answer.
Steve Jobs
How
walks
cute.
out. So Steve Jobs walks out with the thing he buys. And then I say, you know who that was, right? She's like, "No, I don't." And I'm like, "That's Steve Jobs." She's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I worked in the HR department."
Oh no! Oh.
So she was also an Apple employee.
Could you imagine missing an opportunity with Steve Jobs because you thought he was just some guy that worked at Best Buy? Like what?
That's incredible.
So that
Oh,
was one of
no.
those like embarrassing, tense moments, but it's really funny when the whole
Yeah.
thing played out. Now
That
this is a
answer is
really
really
cool.
good.
This is my cool story. That
Okay.
is a little self-serving, but I would just at least say that at first. Okay, so one of my roles at the store was to do the presentations. Back in the day, there were like in-depth classes of how to use iPhoto, how to use iDVD, how to use iMovie,
Yeah.
because they were trying to educate people of how to use their software with their hardware. This is like people still weren't familiar with exactly what Macs would do, and this is when Apple was trying to kind of still in a transition of reviving themselves to be cool. This is not when the iPhone existed. This is when we're just talking about iPods and PowerBook
Whoa.
G4s and iMacs and Emacs. Emacs were there, right? So this
wow.
is a different era, all right? A totally different era. This is when Apple's display was the plastic, I can't remember. Did they call it the cinema display? I feel like they did. But
Yeah,
it was,
they did.
it was kind of like the plastic board and everything like that.
Mm.
Okay, so these are different times. So one time, reps from Canon come into the store, and these are dudes straight from Asia. Steve Jobs comes to the store, and also at that time, one of his number 2s, John Rubinstein, comes in. He's the head he's the VP of hardware for Apple at that time. And so they wanted someone to walk them through the entire process of using the iLife suite with a camera for photos and videos.
Oh
Well,
man.
guess who they had do that?
I
it was
Oh
wonder.
me.
my god.
So what happened is we go
Oh
into
my god.
at the time the Apple Store is these it was sectioned off in like music, photos, movies. So we go to one of these little stations in a corner. It's literally me, SJ, John
Oh.
Rubinstein, and 3 Canon executives. And I'm pretty actually like, oh shit, this is like he's watching so what I have to
Yeah.
do is walk through the entire process, iLife, iTunes. And we are there. I shit you not, roughly 2 hours. Might have been even longer. I'm just explaining the
Sam
process
says.
during the time. Sometimes SJ is interjecting. He never corrects me. He's just like, oh, you can also do this. You can also do that. So after this whole 2 hour thing is done, okay, this is intense, guys.
I
don't
bet.
go to the
Yeah.
bathroom. This is like
Holy
my
shit,
I'm
audition.
surprised you didn't go to the bathroom in your pants.
So after it's done, all Steve Jobs says to me, he's like, nice job, and just walks away. That's all he said.
Dog, you made it. Why
He
did you
didn't say
even do
any-
anything else in your life after that?
He didn't say like, thank you so much for, it's just like, he's just like, nice job. And then they bounced. And I was like,
What?
oh, damn. The funny thing is John Rubenstein, he hung out a little later and he was actually very, complimentary, said, you did a great job. We took a picture afterwards, but SJ was like, nice job, bounce. But it was so, that's the stamp of approval from SJ. He wasn't pissed. He wasn't annoyed. He wasn't like,
Yeah.
oh, you're saying this wrong. He never
Just
told
like
me
a
I was.
genuine nice job.
Yeah, and that's it. So that was those are two of like the
That's so
experiences from
fucking
the
cool.
Apple store. But it was pretty epic. And then all my friends that worked at the store were like, holy, like after he left, they were like, oh my gosh, like what was that like? Like, oh, were you freaking out? And I mean, I wasn't too nervous because whatever, I've worked in media and I was, I just had to do the job. But
Had you worked in media at that time?
I was still, I'd gone to school for journalism and stuff.
Oh,
but,
gotcha.
The heat of SJ was here the whole, like right over
Yeah.
my shoulder.
Dude,
the
so
whole
what
time.
year was this?
Oh, let me think. When did I work? 2000. I'm going to guess, if I had to guess right, it must have been maybe around 2006 or 2007. I would have to look at my,
Was the
I
iPhone
would have to look
out?
at my phone. No, definitely not.
So it would have
iPhone
been
did
it
not
would have been
exist.
pre-January of 2007
It was before the iPhone
Dude,
ever came out.
or June, I think, of 2000.
Like probably
That's
a while
cr-
before the iPhone came out.
Yeah,
Dude, but
so that's why I
just
said it was
think-
probably 2006, 2006. Yeah, 2006-ish.
Dude, he knew that like they were working on the phone.
Yeah.
Like, he knew that it was going to exist. Like that's such a crazy thing to think about. That like
sure,
the thing
for
that
sure.
everyone in the world owns now. He was like, I'm working
There's-
on it.
There's I mean, I
That's
can
so
tell
cool.
we're on an Apple podcast. I can tell another cool Apple story at the store. So
Absolutely.
one day, I'm in downtown Palo Alto. I'm walking to get my lunch, and I see this dude in this like all blue, velvety velour like jumpsuit from a distance. And let me tell you, Palo Alto is like a certain type of cat that you're not gonna see a dude in a blue velour jumpsuit. Okay. I see him from a long ways away. He's with this kind of tiny guy in a suit. And as they come closer, it's like, oh, that's probably a lawyer. But as I get closer, it's Dr. Dre. Dr.
What?
Dre
What?
is in Palo Alto walking up the
What?
streets. So I'm going on my lunch. As I come back, Dre and this probably his lawyer, not a handler, definitely a lawyer, are just hanging out in the Apple store, kind of looking around, scoping it out. So I'm like, whoa, that's weird. Why is Dr. Dre at an Apple store in Palo
I
Alto?
like how that's your reaction. Whoa, that's weird.
Yeah, because look, I mean, I guess I'm not the type, even now, it's hard for me to get floored by like celebrities. It's really hard. If someone's impacted my life, then that's when I really like kind of flip out more. Of course,
Yeah.
Dr. Dre influenced a lot of the music I listen to, but I'm still like, I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Dr. Dre's here.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't bug him. I don't bug these people at all. I think maybe a month later, the announcement goes out that Apple acquires Beats. A month
Oh.
after Dr. Dre visits the Apple store. So he was clearly in town. They probably told him. And again, at the time, the Palo Alto store was actually the only Apple store in the Bay Area at that time.
Well, that was like 2013, 2014, right?
Maybe?
no.
I think it was earlier. I feel like
When
it was
they
earlier. I
acquired
could be wrong. I could be
Position.
wrong. I could be totally wrong. I don't know.
Where did
Eddie
Apple
Q was there, right?
acquire-
When did that actually
Yes.
happen?
Apple
had to be
acquired
earlier.
Beats in 2014.
Okay, 2014. So he was there either way.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
And he's just like, It just casually tells that on on our stupid show.
But it
Dr.
was
Dre
it
was
was-
in the Apple Store.
But it didn't make now these days. Sure, there's so many Apple stores. You're gonna see celebrities there. But like
Yeah.
when you're one of the few Apple stores, and maybe it was before 2014 when he came in. But
Uh-huh.
Sure.
all I
but-
know for a fact is Dr. Dre was hanging out in the Palo Alto Apple Store for no damn reason. I'm like, Palo Alto? Like you came out here? Like for why?
Yeah.
It made sense. It made sense later on.
Yeah.
He was probably just thinking about it. He was probably just looking around. He's like, do I want my baby to be in here? Like, does this
And
fit?
what is Apple all about, right? Because even
Yeah.
when the announcement was made, everyone was like, what's the game
What?
here? Is it
Yeah.
their algorithm of their software? Like, do they need
Uh-huh.
headphones? They've never done headphones, right? It was actually first looked at as kind of like a weird mismatch of like, what is Apple doing with this,
Yes.
and why would they be doing this? Now it's evolved over years, and Johnny Iovine's vision of, and that relationship is kind of fizzled, and Apple's done their own thing with Apple Music, but
Yeah.
it was still a question mark when it first happened. So no one saw that coming at the time, quite honestly, because they also had the iPod. So
Yeah.
it'd be like, why
Yeah.
why are we doing this? So that was a cool story. That was actually a fun one, just to see how that played out business wise.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, that's so
That's
cool.
so
Do you miss
cool.
working at the Apple Store?
No. Look, I made great relationships there. I think at the time when you're talking about peak Apple, it was an amazing place to work at.
Yeah.
I think looking back, young Brian probably drank a little bit of the Kool-Aid, but I think because I worked there, I actually
Mhm.
stopped drinking the Kool-Aid. You could see
Oh.
more that happens behind the scenes. And I'm not saying it's not a great place to work at. I loved working there, but I
Yeah.
don't miss working there. How about that?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I always loved
It wasn't as
seeing-
magical.
yeah, and I always love seeing, and talking to people or whatever. Sometimes people at Apple stores like recognize me, and it's kind of fun to say like, "Hey, I worked in an Apple store too," and they're like, "What?"
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's a good point of reference. Like, look, we can all do whatever we want to do and end up in all these crazy places. Like, we all start somewhere, and because
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that want to.
And you
do
just
content
happened to
creation.
start in an Apple store next to Steve Jobs. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also would come to like a lot of the events. So like the launch of all the OSs. Remember,
Yeah.
this is a big deal. They would do store launch openings for the operating system, and people would line up. Now it's distributed
yeah.
for free over the air. So Steve Jobs would come when we would launch actual, leopard and a mountain
Oh.
lion and things like that.
Oh,
That's
Tiger.
so crazy.
I remember all
Yeah.
that stuff. I remember
Wow.
because we would like the stores really, the whole clap culture and getting hype, that was there from day one.
Yeah.
So when people like, oh, all these people are like lemmings, just totally slaves to Apple, like quite honestly,
Yeah.
it is a good feeling. It's fun. It's exciting.
Yeah.
It elevates your emotions. People that walk into these stores that aren't even working for Apple feel good because everyone's like cheering
Yeah.
them on and clapping them. And hell yeah, they're going to spend more money because of that. But that has always been the case. We would always clap in people on an OS. I remember even like wearing these like I'm a sneakerhead, these like chrome dipped shoes and dancing in the front of the store before they opened. And SJ was there, and people were like, dude, you're just like acting full like in front of SJ. But then someone's like, yeah, but he was smiling. I'm like, hell yeah. Right?
dude, you were fucking dancing in front
We're
of
doing
Steve
stupid-
Jobs. What?
like
Who-
a cuckoo, like with silver
John,
shoes
we were
on.
supposed to save this guest for the end of the last episode of Genius Bar ever.
I
we can't
know.
just do
Now
this
every other
mid-season.
guest is fucked.
Yeah,
This is not. These are
dude.
all fun. These are all fun little stories.
No, fun little stories that only a few people have on the earth.
I have more questions, Brian. So,
Okay,
okay, you said you went to the iPhone event. You were there. You were covering it as media, correct?
I was there actually at the time. I was actually kind of lampooning between the Apple Store and a job at
Oh.
Spec Products, which was a case company that still does cases.
Yeah,
so
we
that's
know
why.
Spec.
So that's why I was there.
That's right. That's right. Okay. So what's the most recent Apple event you've gone to? Have you gone to one at Apple Park, or was it only at the old Infinite Loop campus?
I only went to events when they were at Moscone, and the old Infinite Loop. I have yet to be invited to current new Apple events, and even when I was over at my old employer, and remember I told you about how that relationship was severed for about 5 years, right? Remember I told you
Yeah.
about that, right? Right? Remember that? Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
that happened.
No relation. No relation.
But there was a different regime,
That's
and look,
so
at
funny.
the time, Brian had to do what his boss told him to do, even though he didn't want to do it and knew it was a bunch of stink was going to happen from it.
Yeah.
I didn't take the fall for that, but people were mad that it happened.
Well, yeah, because it seems like now you have a pretty good working relationship with the company, right? Like I believe you get the products a little early.
Right
to
now,
test
right
them
now
out.
I do. I think that I tell them, I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not going to make up anything, and I'm going to be truthful with my experiences. And as long as they respect that, and I think that if something changes, it changes. But I can't control this. Like I
Yeah.
cannot control if I like a product or not. I've said this
Yeah.
product is great, but I'm not going to buy it. And it's not for me. And if that's a reason why like we don't want to give this person access to product, well, I can't control that either. So I'm on, how about this? I guess I'm on their list right now, which I know it's very hard to get on, and I feel really like lucky, but at the same time, I can't act like I owe them anything because of that. I just have to do what I always did before I got on the list. So yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
Do you
really
think I'm on the
interesting.
list?
The naughty list? Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
John,
for
you're
sure.
definitely on the you're
For
definitely
sure.
on the naughty list.
I mean, if you ever get product from them, it might be a USB-C to lightning cable 5
Yeah.
years later to review.
Yeah. After the port
should
list.
should I reach out to Apple and say, can I review the braided USB-C to lightning cable?
Dude, start there. So Sam has reached out to them a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes he gets a reply, but they won't commit. They're afraid. They have commitment issues.
I,
Well, I
I
think-
think
I
I'm
think
on Apple's gray list.
I think what it comes down to is you just got to put your head down and work hard. And if it happens, it happens. There's people that have been trying for years. There was a time where I was given a single product to review, I think maybe 2 years ago. And then I didn't, at least early access. And I didn't after that for like a year and a half. And, I think sometimes people will question, why would they do that? Like, this is a different game where there's not going to be enough access to give to everyone, and Apple will
Yeah.
try out who they want to try out at different times. Some people who used to get lots of access get less access. Some people who might be someone that they want to work with more get like, I don't know what their algorithm is internally, but they choose, and we can't. I do know. Look, some people are really fortunate to just get everything all the time, no matter what, and I do feel like it might taint their coverage a little bit. I'm just being honest, but
Yeah.
I can't roll that way, and so I'm just gonna keep on doing what I do. Like, I'm not afraid to give bad apples if there's a bad apple,
Right.
Yeah.
and I
Exactly.
feel like when I throw them out that they're fair, and so if like they've never told me stop throwing out bad apples.
Right.
Yeah.
They
You
have
haven't
never
gotten the
said-
memo yet.
I've never been, none of my coverage has ever been changed or said, can you do this instead? Or none of that. None of that. And so,
Well, you
Yeah.
know what is a good apple?
I do.
Do you know what is a good apple?
Oh, I know.
It's
I know the
Magic
best apple.
Spoon, everybody.
oh my God, I've had this cereal.
You have?
Dude, it's so good.
Dude, it's
It's
the
so
best.
good.
We saved the best for last. It's one of our favorite sponsors ever, Magic Spoon. I mean, I think out of all the sponsors we have, I think we've been doing the show for almost a year. And out of all the sponsors that have
Whoa.
ever been on the show, every time we promote Magic Spoon, people on Twitter and everywhere just like posting pictures of the Magic Spoon box because of us, because it's delicious. It's the best cereal.
Oh,
It's like
it's delicious.
it's like all the cereal that you used to eat as a kid, but now if you ate it, it would like give you a heart attack and you just die.
Guys,
This tastes like that without the heart attack.
I've been gaining weight. I've gained like 20 pounds in the past 2 months, and I'm the heaviest I've ever been. And I was just like touching my stomach during the show.
Did you
and I
say
was like,
heaviest or happiest?
heaviest. And I was
Okay.
like, you know what? I can't eat like I used to anymore. You know that feeling when you like that age you hit when you're like, man, these pounds don't be disappearing.
Sam,
Yeah,
Sam,
I
Sam,
thought
you're
I
a
was doing
young
fine.
buck.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this buck he's out of rut now, and he's starting to limp a little bit because of all the weight tying him down. All right, so you guys know how it is. You got to start watching what you're eating, and then you're like, oh, but usually it's like you got to go on a diet or eat something that's like healthy and it's bad. But what if
That's
what if there was this
stupid.
middle ground? What if there was like healthy, but also still really, really good? And that's exactly what Magic Spoon
How
is.
healthy,
because-
Sam? Do you mean 0 grams of sugar, 14 grams of protein, only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving? Are you saying it's keto friendly, gluten free, grain free, soy free, and low carb? Or is that what you're saying?
John, I'm also saying that it's 140 calories only per serving.
No way. That's crazy. Can you believe it?
Dude, you can build your own box. And let me just read off the flavors because these truly make it so special. There's cookies and cream and maple waffle, which are like perma flavors back. I haven't gotten to try those yet.
I haven't
Magic
had the
Spoon.
maple waffle one yet, but that's what
Let's,
I want. Peanut
let's get
butter is still
something
the
in the
tippy
mail.
top of my list.
Yo,
Yeah,
I want that
there's
cookies and
something-
cream, man.
No, it sounds so good, right, Brian? So they've got peanut butter, they've got fruity. I'm not even reading them. They've got frosted and they've got coca or chocolate.
Yeah.
Cocas.
Chocolate. Don't forget the peanut butter. That's the best flavor.
Yeah, you said
I think
peanut
you know
butter,
what
so
I
I didn't
think.
want to
I think every guest.
It's
listen,
great.
Magic Spoon. I'm not saying you need to do anything. I'm just saying that it'd be nice if every time there's a guest on the show, you just tossed them a box.
That would be fun. So
Like,
yeah,
can we
you
get
guys-
Brian Tong a Magic Spoon?
What if you
cookies
tossed
and
me
cream
a box and then someone actually tossed me a box and it went from your camera to mine through the magic of the
Dude.
internet?
We could have done that if we planned it out better, but we
Yeah,
did
That
not
would be
plan
so
this.
cool. Next time. Okay, so you guys get $5 off when you go to magicspoon.com/genius bar. That's Magic Spoon, MAGICSPOON.com.
$5 off.
Genius bar. That's $5 off. It's such a good deal. If you haven't tried it, listen, treat yourself. It's almost Thanksgiving. That turkey's not going to fill you up, but Magic Spoon.
They need to
will.
pay extra for this episode because Brian Tong's on it.
They should. Up triple the rate. Triple the
Okay.
rate.
Thank
Okay,
you,
love
Magic Spoon, for supporting this episode of the Genius Bar. Okay, Brian Tong, the way this works is after the last ad read, like after we have filled all of our responsible obligations on this show, all bets are off. There are no rules, and you can say whatever you want. We
You
lean
can
back
sit
a little
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
We kind of
bit, get comfy.
back.
Yeah,
I'm
these are
always
the
comfy
rules.
with y'all. I'm always comfy.
Yeah, these are
Aw.
Dems the rules, okay?
Them the rules.
All right. Are we good? Oh, Sam, can we talk about real quick, since there are no rules, a little bit behind the scenes? Sam, we have Brian Tong on this week, okay? World famous. He met Steve Jobs. His time is valuable, okay? Sam is late. He can't, and he's stranded. He can't drive back to come onto the show
Why?
because Sam, his car has like a Windows update or some shit, so he can't come here and do the show. What happened, Sam?
Dude, there's this update that came out, and I have this freak thing about updates to where I have to do it right away. So
Like right before a show with Brian fucking Tong?
I did it 40 minutes before I had to leave. It only takes 20 minutes. I drive a Tesla. And
I can't believe
yeah,
you, Sam.
the update.
The disrespect.
60%. Yeah, no, is it 60%?
The
Wait, Brian,
disrespect.
you have to drive a Tesla. You live in California
No, I
and
don't.
you're a tech YouTuber. What?
No, I
What car
don't.
do you drive?
I drive a Nissan 370Z. I love a stick shift. My
Ooh.
lady drives a
That's
Tesla.
fair.
I don't. I would love to down the road, but I will just look. See, this is the misconception. Just because you're a tech YouTuber does not mean you need to drive a damn Tesla.
Also,
Yeah,
can we
you
talk
do.
about
You need to. You
since
need it.
Brian Tong gets all the stuff early, Brian, Apple Car.
Oh, will I get an Apple car earlier? If
Do you
they
think
ever make
you're
one?
do you think you're on that list?
I don't know. It depends on how nicely I speak of it, probably.
I'd say your whole like rule of like I give bad apples regardless. I think you go I think you should start now. A full year of no bad apples. because then
Just
I'm
to
not
get the
saying to
Apple car?
compromise your integrity. I'm just saying if it's a bad apple, just don't put the video out. It's not like you're not saying it in a video. The video just didn't make it out. Corrupted files.
I think. How about this?
Corrupted
I'll be real with you. I think we're at the point where most of Apple's products are pretty dang good, but maybe there's specific features or aspects of them that make them bad apples or decisions,
Yeah.
which I do lean into. Like
Funny you mention it.
such as
Sam, did you watch my video? The one for just a couple days ago, Sam.
What? Sorry. I was just
Okay,
thinking
this
about
is.
something. I was
I
thinking
guess
about
we
not
could sort
watching
of
some
blame
video.
Brian Tong for this because we were on his show just
Yeah.
like early last week, and we started this conversation of like I think Sam said something about they make great products or something, and then I said I think they make decent products, and Brian Tong, being the professional that he is, made me explain that. So I explained what I meant by I think that the hardware is great, but the software is lacking, and because the software is not there, it can't be classified as a great product. Made a whole video about that.
Mhm.
And I was pretty nervous about that video. It's called Apple Sucks Now and It's Your Fault. It's a reused title. It's part 2, by the way. For the OGs of Front Page Tech, there was a video out in like 2018 that had that title. And I was nervous about that video, but the comments were very, very supportive and wonderful. And so if you're part of the Toilet Squad and you comment on the video, thank you. A lot of people, it was weird because it's like a lot of the comments, people were glad that somebody, I guess, with a platform said something like experiences that they're having, but maybe they thought it was just them, or I don't know, maybe they thought they were isolated issues. But it turns out a lot of people are having software issues, and it's to a point now where it's like, it's not just your iPhone or whatever. Like in that one video, I gave examples, I gave screenshots, I gave video examples, proof on my end of at least one problem with every single product category. And I don't remember a time where there was like, I couldn't depend on my Apple Watch. I couldn't depend on my fucking Mac because my cursor would just disappear half the time. My iPhone touchscreen didn't work. It's just... Sam, fuck you. Bye.
Hey, John.
Take Sam off the show.
You know what? We don't even need to put Sam in this podcast. You can just kick him off right now.
I know,
Just
dude. I
disconnect-
will just cut
disconnect
out all the
him.
parts of Sam talking and just me and you.
Hey guys, for everybody that didn't watch John's video, I actually did watch it. Let me recap it really quick.
Oh, I'm sorry you don't want good. I'm sorry you like shitty software. Mr. Update your car and you can't drive it because it took 40 minutes to update the
The
software.
disrespect.
Yeah, on
All
a
right,
podcast with
I-
Brian Tong and you're late.
I do have to come clean about something.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
No, here we go.
I experienced my first serious Apple bug.
There
The other day.
it is, everybody.
First
They
ever.
finally got him. Wait, yeah, your first ever bug?
No, just like
That can't
recently,
be-
because I remember last episode I was like, I haven't seen any of this, and like I've been very vocal that like I don't really
Okay,
think
for
these are
real though,
real
did you
issues.
watch the video?
For real, I did not watch the video because I kind of
What
looked at
the
the meme
fuck?
that I don't watch your special videos.
What? Sam, I am hurt.
I mean, there's a level
Okay,
of
I see
preparation.
how it is.
There's a level of preparation that happens when you come on a show and you're actually a co-host of the show. I for one, also did not watch his video.
Well, to be fair, the whole premise of the video started on your show.
Well,
So I kind of said the same thing over there.
Here's what I also thought was kind of fascinating. I noticed reading some of your tweets that our conversation on my show actually sparked both of your brains a little, because I saw Sam
Yes.
throw out a tweet about Apple should make a camera. You
Yes,
know? that was
yes.
the thing that we
dude.
talked about on our show as well.
Basically,
That-
like, the rule is, if anyone listening to this show, you want like a really good episode of Genius Bar, you should just go listen to Brian Tong's podcast.
Yeah, it
Apple
was a good
Bits
episode.
LX.
It was-
Make sure to type it,
it was
exactly
great.
that way.
It was great with guests like you.
We should do.
Oh.
What if like just every week we're a guest on your show, you're a guest on this show, and that's just how we do it.
Every week?
Every week, I will give you
Are you trying? Oh, I know why.
3% of the sponsorship money.
No, I think it's because you need
Bro, I better be your
diversity
cut.
on your show. That's why. That's why you want me on every week. So,
Yeah.
so the cancel crowd doesn't come after
Yeah.
your asses.
That's-
The cancel
that's
crowd's
the-
gonna be like,
Yeah.
hey, they don't have anyone that's not a white guy.
Yeah.
We're gonna cancel Genius
Sam is
Bar.
the whitest. That's the problem.
And let us
Even
be
with
clear.
you, like that, it's a bad ratio because Sam is the whitest.
The farthest we'll go is a diverse male. I couldn't be woke enough to have a woman on the podcast. I couldn't.
Shut up.
I couldn't. It's just not my style.
Do
What
we
can I
have
say?
any? Sam, we have like
That's
a guest
sarcasm,
list of people that
course.
we're planning on having on.
No, you know what? Yeah. There's people, and like I would love to have iJustine on. I want to have I'm literally
Wow.
breaking because she.
I'm gonna
Laura
tell
Crystal.
you the name.
Okay, she's
Chris-
changed her
Crystal
name.
Laura,
She's changed her
Crystal
name.
Laura.
Crystal Laura.
Yeah, but she
Yes.
had the channel before that she stopped, and there's something weird there that I've always wanted to ask her about.
Oh,
It's
maybe
still-
we'll have
When
her
she
on
used to
soon
work
now.
with
Crystal,
Jonathan
Crystal.
Morrison, and then they stopped working together, and then she went dark for a year, and then she came back with a different name. Anyway, this is some deep YouTube stuff that I've been like, it's been on my mind.
Dude,
for years.
if Samsung gets me with the cease and desist stuff and they take me to court, I'm gonna go dark for a year and come back as
Easy
peasy.
peasy.
No, don't leave me. Here's what I'm saying. There's a disproportionate amount of men that do tech, and
Well, there
just kind of
clearly
it.
is. I think that
that's just a thing.
it does also, I think it helps. We want more female representation, but what also sucks is that, you know, the tech bro culture is pretty toxic towards females and very discouraging.
Yeah.
Dog.
So-
It's not even the
It's-
creators. It's
yeah,
the
it's-
demographic.
yes.
It's just
It's brutal. This is not about being woke. This is about being a freaking good human. It's
Exactly.
nasty. I hate
Exactly.
it. And so
yeah.
look, that it's because the culture is actually discouraging for people that really genuinely, imagine how sucky it would be. Like, you just genuinely love this stuff and you're just basically personally attacked for how you look. You're attacked, like you're being told horrible things about X, Y, and Z, and you just want to talk about tech because you love it.
Yeah.
It's trash, man. It's trash.
Yeah,
No, it
that's
is.
why,
It
like,
is.
there have been times where, and this is just, I'm a dude. I'm a straight white dude that makes fart noises on the internet. That's what I do. But there are times like when I'm editing the show, and I'm not kidding, I've done this, where there's like a fuzz on my hoodie or something that I know everyone's attention will be on. So I will mask it out before the episode goes out. Literally, just because if it goes out that way, the conversation in the comments will not be about what I made the video about. So it'll just feel like a waste of time because everyone's down in the comments like, look at the thing on you have a thing on your, did you just eat, you fat ass? There's a thing on your shirt. That'd be like, that's all the
God.
comments will
Hey,
be. So I take
wait.
the work and I fucking mask
John.
it all out.
Is that a crumb from a biscuit
Yeah.
you just ate on your neck?
A fucking biscuit. A biscuit.
He can't mask a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't mask a biscuit crumb, bro. But that make that a t-shirt. But
out of all the things you could have picked, you picked a biscuit.
I do love a biscuit.
I just eating a biscuit before the show. Hang on,
You-
guys. Sam's updating his car and I'm eating a biscuit.
Do you guys go to Cracker Barrel ever?
Yeah.
no,
Brian,
I don't
have
even
you
have
ever
a
been to
Cracker
a
Barrel
Cracker
near me. I've seen them, but I haven't been. to
Dude,
one.
I once
so-
took a girl to Cracker Barrel to break up with her.
That's a great place to break up with someone because that's where I
Yeah.
would take someone if I want to break up with them.
Yeah, I pretty much ruined that restaurant forever for her. So that's nice.
Oh, that's really sad.
But like, I can't.
oh,
You can't like invite her over to your house, right?
What do you mean? If she's down and she likes Cracker Barrel, that makes her like a down to earth girl.
That's what I'm saying. You got to take them to. Okay, if I break up with you at my house, I can't.
You're saying
no matter how.
breakup spots, great breakup spots, a park at night in the car.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
overlooking some sort of skyline if possible, where it's dark and you can talk and be real, but not have to look each other in the eye. And then
Yeah,
the lights
'cause
of
the
the
sky's
city
so
kind of make
pretty.
it more pleasant because it's.
yeah.
I've done this. I've been on both ends of this.
dude, what Brian just described is like only an LA thing. He's like literally go
Yeah.
to Runyon
Yeah,
Canyon
dude.
and
I
break
bet every
up
time
with
some
her.
girl
Like,
pulls him up to like some
dude.
Starry Night Sky, he's like, "Oh fuck, here we go again."
Dude, John has like a cornfield he could take someone to where he lives now. Bro, there's gonna be a cow mooing in the background while he's breaking this
I
girl's
wish he was
heart.
joking. I wish that was a joke. It's not a
Oh,
joke.
man. Okay,
It's
hold on. Okay. What are we talking about right now?
Dude, who knows? I think we were
I
talking about
don't-
women in tech, and somehow
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
talking about
Yeah,
Cracker
right,
Barrels.
Right. That's what I was trying to. Yeah.
Anyway, the point was, you can't break up with them at the house because then if the situation is awkward, it's your house and you're stuck there. What do you call the police to come get her? If you break up at a Cracker Barrel and it gets awkward, she can stay if she wants to finish the food, and you can just exit the situation.
I will also say.
You ever go for a
and this
potty
is
break
not-
and just never come back?
I also say there can be sometimes when you break up, and if it's at your house, you can make up at your house.
No, it wasn't that kind of breakup. It was like, okay, get the fuck out. That kind of breakup.
Sam, you know
Oh,
what?
no.
If you've learned anything from
I-
this, don't listen to anything I've said in the past 10 minutes because none of it works.
So don't listen to any of the women in tech is a problem. Got it.
Oh,
Got
no,
it.
not that part. Not that part. Not that part.
We're gonna call the episode "Brian Tong Comes Out as
Well-
Women Hater."
Yeah, what happened to
Don't
not getting
do
us
that.
canceled?
Don't
Yeah,
don't
Brian.
do this. Don't do
Good thing
this.
cancel
It
culture
took you
isn't
like
real.
5 minutes after you said that to get us canceled.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
Oh, God.
Yeah, is there? You guys
Well, I
want
mean,
to talk
we
about
did-
the news?
We did give everyone a heads up that it's the end of the show and all bets
Yeah,
are off.
yeah.
So Brian Tong was just bound to
True.
get us canceled. So
True.
Do you
That's
guys
true.
want to actually do our jobs and talk about the news though? We haven't talked about the news yet.
Okay, I have my iPad Mini, the best Apple product in the last 5 years. Shut
I don't know
up,
about
Sam.
that.
You need
I don't know about
to
that.
shut the fuck up.
No, it's the best.
Bad take.
For you. That's great.
No, it's the best for everyone.
No,
Okay.
it's literally
No.
not.
Let's
definitely
check our
not.
favorite appletrack.com.
Yeah, there's been. I've been doing some blogging. Did you guys see that Tim Cook owns crypto? That was
That's
Yes.
cool. Yeah,
Yes.
fascinating.
I like to see. Hey, I don't need the sarcasm.
Oh,
Okay, because some of us are some of the crypto bros on this podcast
The
were kind of
crypto
excited
bros.
that one of our own came out.
Okay.
So some of the crypto bros, meaning one of three.
Yo, you're not a crypto
Yeah.
bro? Damn
No,
it.
look. I wanted to get into Bitcoin earlier, but I said to myself, if it blows up, cool. If it doesn't, cool. It doesn't matter. It blew up big. I don't feel like I missed anything from my life other than being able to buy a Tesla on the side if I put in $400 back in the day when it was just starting.
Yeah.
But also, I just don't like the fact. Look, okay, no one
Uh-oh.
here, and there's a lot of crypto tech bros that act.
I'm
like
gonna pull
they
up
know,
Sam here because
Yeah.
his reaction is probably gonna be
that,
priceless.
that act like they know what the hell's going on here. Okay.
Yeah.
No one knows what the hell is going on here because Elon Musk can put out a damn tweet and kill the price of crypto just because he said something. So, yes, stocks are based on speculation. Crypto's based on speculation and how many people are investing in the market. But at least with a stock, it's kind of based on some level of performance instead of a tweet by Elon Musk. I'm serious.
Sam?
Like,
Your rebuttal?
I'm serious. Now, I'm not saying it's not lucrative. Look, we all like that money, but damn, if I'm going to let Elon Musk determine my portfolio, hell no.
Rebuttal starting.
Okay, here we go.
All right. Counterpoint. Elon did the same thing to Tesla stock when he said price too high IMO. He also recently, out of the pocket, was like, yeah, the deal's not even confirmed. Elon also attacks people like Bernie Sanders for no reason. So Elon can just as easily manipulate a stock price as he can, I would say, Dogecoin rather than crypto in general. Because
Okay.
I think there was a point when any markets knew that he had the ability to make it go up and down. Yes, that's a crazy amount of power. And yes, crypto is speculative, but I also believe crypto does have inherent value. And for a long time, I didn't believe that. But with inflation starting to be a more serious conversation that it has, I was saying for years, like to my friends back in 2020, I was having this conversation, 2019, pre-pandemic. I was like, crypto is a hedge against inflation. I think it's a really good way to put your money. Just like people will go to silver and gold whenever inflation starts going up, it's a safer asset. You can do the same thing for crypto, Bitcoin. When I say crypto, I'm speaking specifically to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and maybe Ripple. I'm not talking about like the Alt Z coin that like your favorite influencer made up. I believe those are broadly scams. But I think crypto democratizes wealth to groups of people that have never been able to be part of the financial system before. I think it holds banks accountable for the money that they print. And I also think it serves as a hedge against inflation. And I think it allows normal people to also gain wealth in a very serious way.
I
So
can't
But
tell
I,
if Sam
I believe
sounds,
it's the future.
I
and
can't tell if Sam sounds very smart or if he sounds like a doomsday prepper.
Okay, how about this? I think a lot of the points you make are valid. It's absolutely part of the future, but it's not the future. I think when you talk about has it made making money more accessible, dude, look, this is just from me. This is my observation. You still don't see the general middle class person, A, understand crypto, B, invest in crypto. Crypto is controlled by, the tech bros. Let's be real about it. So it's not at the point right now where it is for everyone. I see what you're saying. It has the potential to, but it's not. It's just not. I think
the way
you can agree or disagree with me, but it's not.
Yeah, no, I agree.
don't-
Right now, it's not there.
That's a
I'm
bad
speaking,
apple.
I'm speaking about that for those people that want it to be. It is there right now. Obviously, the market has not adopted. I mean, like adopting a cell phone is one idea. Obviously, the market is not pouring their wealth into like. Wealth is a very complicated topic because like that is how in the U.S. like we basically define our humanity is like your amount of wealth and I don't think people are willing to switch over from the United States dollar right now. I do believe that there will be, I believe there will be a day when we don't use USD in the traditional sense. Like when we're not cash apping USD, I think we'll be cash apping a digital currency of some kind, whether it's Bitcoin or something else. Obviously that's not now, but I'm a very big believer and seeing how other countries are adopting it when like their currency starts crashing and like they're accepting Bitcoin. Like, Yes, obviously right now. I should be clear.
I'm not
saying
yeah,
it's
I
the
mean, you're
saving grace
talking
right
the
now.
way you were talking about was like the present, and I just wanted to be clear that I agree it is part of the future. I'm not a crypto hater by any means. I think it's fascinating. I think they're obviously look, you can get in early. I think also in a way that window to get in early is already passed, and the people that started all this crypto stuff are the ones that are really making the money, not Joe Schmo, who today is opening up a Coinbase account and saying, I'm going to buy some Ethereum. It's that window of those huge gains are days gone by for that person. And so can there be something that, even let's say, right, when to your point of how the general consumer has access to this Squid Game, currency, the Squid Game currency, like that is an example that scares the hell out of people, for people that don't understand it, which is a large majority of the population, to be like, hey, I'm getting into this new crypto. It's Squid Game crypto. And then you just get the wool pulled under you. That's not going to be the only time that happens. I'm not going to use that as like, this is why crypto is bad, but it is one of the examples of why crypto is so hard for a general consumer to, first of all, even wrap their head around and then trust it, right? If you're in the boys club, you're making gains, but if you're not, it's not affecting you right now. John, you're being real quiet. Do you want to jump in this? Like, where do you stand on this stuff?
Well, no. So Sam is very passionate about cryptocurrency, so that's why I thought it was a good conversation for someone that was about to tell him that it wasn't a big deal right now. That
I think it's a big
interested in
deal,
Sam's
but I'm
response.
not as look. I guess I'm more in like
You,
I'm not.
you think it's the future, but the future's not now.
It's part of the future. I don't even think
okay.
it's the future.
Can I
It's
jump in
part
for a
of the
couple
future.
points for what
Yes.
Brian just said too? Okay.
This feels like a presidential debate.
Yeah.
Okay, you got 30 seconds. Go. Don't go over time.
No,
Okay.
talk what you want, Sam.
I think that view of like, the boat has passed is true if you are looking for like huge games, but you could also say the same thing about like investing in general is a very important part of financial literacy. It like makes a difference between like the top set of Americans and the bottom set is literally just if you invest over
Absolutely.
time. And
Absolutely.
so it's like you could look at Amazon, right? Amazon's like a $2,000 stock. So it's like, oh, you missed the boat for gains. But it's like generally they will go up over time. Their financials are looking pretty good. Like you will still make money. And that's what's important about crypto for me is yes, people look at it as a way to make a quick buck. That's like, yes, I have made some substantial cash through crypto, but I've never like bought and sold like day to day or day traded or something just because I genuinely is a part of my portfolio that I think is important. And to me, ignoring crypto completely is putting you at an economic disadvantage if you're not even going to put 5% into
Yeah.
your portfolio. I'm not saying you got to go 100% Bitcoin YOLO. Like,
Agreed,
that's
yeah.
stupid. But I do believe it's an important part and can help economically improve the life of a lot, not even Americans, literally anybody that gets into it. There are also great risks. It is still a new technology. The second point I wanted to make is you were like, yeah, people can get the rug pulled under them. We've seen this with influencer scams. We've seen this all over the place with crypto, where the coin comes, the founder makes money, and then they disappear. That's super fucked up. Nobody wants that. And it is, to me, almost an exact parallel of like the .com bubble, where everybody's like, the internet, that's going to be big. Let's just like make a bunch of stuff for it. And then let's do some really sketchy things to make it a big deal. And obviously the vast majority of those companies don't work out. What are some of the companies from the .com bubble that did really well? A little bookstore called Amazon. That was a crazy idea at the time, but that changed the way the world works. And I draw that parallel to some things like Bitcoin with an anonymous founder and other ways that make this, obviously it's made up. It's not based off of anything. That's a very I think that's a fair argument and a fair concern about it.
No, yeah.
But
I like what you're saying. I 100% would agree with a good amount of your points as well. I just think that this is, we also have to put into the like reality strikes in with people, having disposable income to even take a risk on cryptocurrency. That is not a large majority of the population today, right?
Yeah,
like I know you're
yeah.
like I know you're saying 5% should go, but I'm just saying like, okay, let's just come down to earth a tiny bit. There's a majority of people that don't even have the resources to get into crypto. And that's
Yeah.
why I lean towards saying, and I don't want to, it sounds derogatory, but I do feel like there's some truth when I say tech bros. Look, we are part of the tech culture, right? We are. And the tech community is the one really driving this crypto stuff, and people with high amounts of disposable income to throw their money into it to be able to create value, right? If they don't throw their money into it, this doesn't have value, right? So it's just that the large majority of people out there don't even have the resources to even be able to risk playing in crypto. And I think that, you know, for people that are fortunate enough, that's a smaller segment of the population.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Completely agree. Tech bros are, I saw Sarah Dietschy tweeting about this the other day about like crypto bro culture being really bad. And I was like, fuck that. She's right.
But
like,
you're, but here's Sam,
it,
that's not you. You're not bad.
No, I know that. I'm not taking that personally. I'm like, there are these problems in the community and in tech in general that leans very heavily male that makes it very like agree. That's not like a thing where I'm like, oh, I feel bad. No, it's like, that's a thing that also needs to be addressed. What do you say at the same time as you're also exploring all of these other great ideas, like to be awareness of it, right? Like, hey, am I being toxic by saying this thing? Hey, I'm into this. And just cause you aren't, like, that's just something as like people in the comments, you have to realize that you just need more empathy.
Yeah.
Also, like, I haven't seen it from you, Sam, but like, it really makes me laugh when I see people who are content creators that just get all excited about, you know, their crypto going up and post screenshots of the you know, the value and the chart of the line going, and they're like, oh my gosh, it went up. I'm like, you had nothing to do with that. You just like, do you know why it went up? No, you don't. Guess what? The people who made it go up are a bunch of rich dudes that threw all their money into it, not you. You just happen to be like, you're just here for the ride, and they're acting like experts, and they're saying, you got to get into crypto. You got to get into Shiba.
That voice.
It's like,
no, you're right. You've nailed it. That pushes people away.
Yes.
That's huge. That's so fucking huge, dude, because I've seen that like Bitcoin used to be this very like fun, safe place to be like, let's like play around. But now it's like, you haven't YOLO'd and like put your coins on every platform. Like, bro, Brian, I've told this story before, but like there was this guy that was trying to get me to be part of basically a crypto scam where he was going to pay me like 30. He was going to pay me like 30K a month to promote his coin. And I obviously said no because I was like, this is not okay. But I remember he told me, he was like, yeah, I don't even like use USD anymore. I don't. And then I was like, oh, how do you pay taxes? And he was like, none of us really worry about taxes here. Like it's that kind of culture. It like you said, it's those actors that ruin it for everybody, right? It makes it much more murky and hard to actually understand what's going on for a common enthusiast. So
and I think
agreed.
Yeah, and I think that those people that are really like kind of dictating this, it's one of those things. It sounds so silly and stupid. Like, look, we all want to make a buck. Everyone does. There's plenty of people that will do it in whatever way possible to make that buck, like that guy that wanted to run the crypto scam. But I just part of that culture around it makes it feel icky to me. And I literally do not own a single cent of crypto right now. I just don't.
Got you.
Maybe that'll change. Oh, so you too, JP?
Yeah, that's JPZ to you.
No, it's actually Jeezy Peasy.
Jeezy Peasy. I fucked it up.
But so, and I don't.
I'm gonna change my lower third on Front Page Tech to Jeezy Peasy.
You should.
When it shows my name.
Like honestly, Sam, if you're like on a crypto podcast and all four of you guys were on a crypto, you guys would be having a field day. You just happen to be on a podcast where 2 of the 3 dudes do not own crypto, and we're like, fuck that.
No, I get it. I also feel like I'm quite uneducated on it. Like I feel like I learned something new about the space.
But that's
then there's
the
also
difference.
Like the NFT portion, and
that's the difference between you doing it and other people doing it. They won't admit that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I feel like that about almost everything in my life. I feel like I always have something more to learn.
Yeah, I feel like I'm dumb about everything across the board.
It's like Sam, you're getting into it because of the speculation and the potential gains, and you know a few things about, but you don't really feel like, oh, I really understand how this works, right? Is that what you're kind of trying to say?
No, I feel like I understand like the blockchain side of things, and I understand. I've invested to it because so you'd be like, why have you put money in it? Why have
Yes,
you bought
yes, yes,
Bitcoin
yes.
crypto? Yes, I have primarily done it as an investment because I believe I put in money this day, and I believe, as Sam Cole, that in 2,000 days, that value will be higher by some X amount than where I bought. So primarily as an investment because I do believe it will increase. There are all these subsequent reasons that I mentioned, like I like that it's a hedge against inflation in my mind. That's a reason I would invest. I believe that like the way money has been printed in the country and like the way like financial crises have been, this could be a way to subvert that in some way with some of my wealth. And genuinely, I love the idea of the blockchain, that everything is public. And so there's multiple reasons. I feel like I'm missing some big ones in my head just because like.
No, I'm not trying to put it. I'm
they're
not
not
honestly
there.
not trying to put you on a test or anything. I'm just curious,
of course. But yeah, I want to make it clear. Like I have invested in it because I feel like I know enough. I will be honest. When I first bought at the all-time high in 2018, I did not know what I was doing.
The all-time
that
high
was
of
me,
what specifically?
It was the high at the time. It was when Bitcoin went from like 6,000 to 19,000, and everybody was like 19,000. It's never going to go past that. Now it's obviously like 60,000 or something. But I bought some crypto back then for the first time, and I did not know what I was doing at that time. That was literally me buying to be part of the hype.
Yeah.
Over time,
did it
I
work?
read this. Yeah, like I've made lots of money back on it, but it wasn't like, still to this day, it's like, yes, the gains are nice, but for me, it really is about like, I just love tech and I love this alternative way to store wealth. And to me, like, I can't remember if I heard this from somebody or somebody made this clear to me, but it's like, you know, we've had credit cards, right? Like we've had credit cards since like what, the 70s, 80s, 90s, like they've been around for a while. And, you know, the internet obviously changed every part of the world when it like really went mainstream. But I really feel like money has not evolved over time. Like we're still using all these different individual currencies. Like, why don't we just have one currency that everybody can use and we wouldn't have to do transfers? And obviously I'm smiling. I sound brainwashed talking about this. But
You do, but I respect you.
yeah,
That's the thing. You do, but like at the same time, I get it. I'm not criticizing you for sounding brainwashed.
Yeah. I know it sounds wild, but I believe that what the internet did for the world, that cryptocurrency could do for money. Like it makes it go to another level. And I don't know if this makes any sense. I just feel like it's going to be the internet effect, but for money and cryptocurrency. And like how we think about it is going to be completely different in 20 years. And we'll be like, we had paper money and like we relied on a bank, a centralized bank that could fail to store all of that. Like, are we crazy? So those are my takes. I understand those are like very progressive views on wealth and money and finance. And I completely.
The only thing that was missing was like your Supreme shirt.
I got my palace. This is a UK streetwear brand. So like I looked like, but yeah, I like, you know, there's people that take those views that are just super toxic and they're like, well, everybody else is wrong. I don't believe that. Like, I understand you guys being like, this is real weird. There's too much hype. Something's going to burst. I don't like it. I'm like, I get it. Like, I might disagree, but I get it. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think those are very human, natural things. Like, we treat things that we don't understand well with a lot of skepticism. And that's why I haven't put all my money in crypto. I think I still have more money like in traditional stocks than crypto. Like, you know, you gotta temper your expectations. There's a lot of people in the crypto community that just get a little too excited. Like the guy that's like, I don't even use the United States dollar. What? And it makes it so hard to understand. And it makes it so hard to even feel like you can be a part of it.
Well, yeah, I think there's honestly an elitism associated with it that is problematic. But you know, that's part of it. I think thanks for sharing. I mean, that's really fascinating, and I just that's kind of where I'm at with it. But I really, you know, I respect, and I feel like you actually brought up some points that I never thought about. That was really cool too. But I'm still not going to jump into it yet.
Wait until the Apple Store only accepts crypto. Then Brian and I are fucked. Well, I guess not Brian, because they send him products for free.
Yeah.
Oh, get out of here, guys.
Only
Actually,
me.
for free. Hold up, for the record, just so people know, they do send them to me, but I do have to send them back. Anything they send. But it does, obviously, getting it in that first group or that first window is helpful and beneficial as a content creator as a reviewer, but I always return everything they give me. So I still have to buy my own stuff.
Yeah, I feel like
Mhm.
so I always say this a lot when people are like, "Oh, Apple gives these review products to these people for free." I'm like, "Well, they do have to return them. Is there like a deadline, or
Yes.
they just got to get it back?"
Yes. No, there is an absolute deadline. I always make it clear. I always found it fascinating that a lot of the reviewers never make that clear in their video. Like,
Yeah.
I say it in front of
You
all
still,
of my
in the end, you
reviews.
buy it for yourself or you don't.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how I measure if it's a product that fits for me, whether it's a good one or not.
Mhm.
If it's like the iPad mini, I said it's a great product, but it's not for me. I'm not going to buy it. Right? I
That's
said that.
okay. Sorry,
I
the
didn't-
show ended already.
Cool.
It's over. The show ended already,
Cool.
and so we're gonna not include that part. You talking shit about the iPad Mini?
That's not talking
Dude,
shit. That's
I
keeping it real, baby.
I don't know why John.
That's a bad
like,
apple.
They should send John the next iPad Mini because he'll literally just give it like a glowing review. Okay,
Dude,
here's a question.
it's the
Here's a
perfect
question.
device.
Sam,
If
Sam,
Apple sent you
why
the
are they
iPad
going to
Mini
give
6,
him
would you make a video about it?
What?
If Apple
I didn't
sent you
hear
the iPad
anything.
Mini,
Dude, this side of my brain tried to listen to Brian, and this side tried to listen to Sam, and I was
Brian-
like, dude,
Brian, you
when
go.
when
You
they're
go,
both
Brian.
done, I'm gonna impress everyone because I know exactly what each
Sam,
one said,
you were-
and I'm gonna answer them separately. But when you ended, my brain just went, ah.
Sam, you asked
don't
the
know.
question. I'm going to let you ask it. I stepped over you. I'm sorry.
it's okay. It's okay. If Apple sent you the iPad Mini 6, or I guess we're on the 7 next. Like, let's say it's 2
Yeah.
years from now. Hypothetically, Apple sends you the iPad Mini early.
Okay.
Would you make a video about it? Would you make a front page tech like review? Would you review it?
No.
Why?
That's you know
Even if
why?
you got it early.
Why the fuck would I do that?
He
'Cause you
doesn't
love it
okay.
so
Sam,
much.
He doesn't.
I know I do love it so much, but that's not what I do. Like just because
Yes,
they
exactly.
send,
That's
I'll
exactly
just
what I was going to say.
I'll just spend fucking $500 like a normal human being. I'm not going to do extra work, something that goes outside my content strategy, just because Tim Cook sent me an aluminum thing.
But
See,
wouldn't it
you
be
feel
fun?
me?
Sam's like I can't wrap. Sam's like can't wrap his head around this right now. He's
But
like,
that's the difference.
John, you're like, it's not my strategy. It's not my content.
Yeah,
It's not
Oh,
what
is
I
this
do.
how you
Sam,
guys
But-
feel when I was talking
but-
about crypto? This is horrible. Oh god!
No,
just cut
dude,
that entire
this
part of the
is-
episode where I'm just like, I don't comprehend how you wouldn't make a review of an Apple product,
Because-
especially if you got
because
it early.
okay, for you make reviews. That's something that you do, whether you buy
Yeah,
a product or not.
That's a
Yeah.
goal of his.
If
too,
I'm not
quite
going to
honestly.
make reviews, if I don't make reviews now and just make one out of the blue because Apple sent me one, that's like that. I feel like that's awful because I that's giving them special treatment just because they sent me something that I
Mhm.
and would normally never do that. And plus, that's extra work,
Mhm.
dude. I don't know how to make a fucking review. They sent me a $500 thing, and I gotta like a bullet point. These are the pros and these are the cons, and will I keep it? Who is this for? And I got to do that.
No, you
I'm
get
not
to
doing
do
that shit.
your
I don't know.
review. That's what I've been doing with my reviews. Like I put out my basically review of the MacBook Pro today, and like I used to call it like MacBook Pro review and be like, who should buy? Like I thought so critically about it. I was like, no, what I need to start doing
Yeah,
with my
opinion
videos,
first.
and I've enjoyed them, is this is my review. Like in the
Yes.
video, I was like, I love the notch, and I think it's great for me. And I'm not saying it's great for you, but I love it. And a lot of people were like, I had to dislike the video when you said that. I'm like, that's fine. I'm not going to
Yeah.
pander to an audience that wants. I know that the
Brian's face.
majority of the audience doesn't like the notch. I'm not going to. I know Brian's cringing because he hates the notch. Listen, I know most of my audience hates the notch. I'm not going to tell them what they want to hear just to be fair to the audience. I'm going to be like,
Yeah.
no, I love it, and I'm going to be true to me. And
Yeah.
that to me
That's-
is the reviews that I like the most. Is when people
Well,
are
you
just
s-
like straight up.
Yeah.
But bro, shouldn't you always? I mean, have you changed that philosophy? Shouldn't that always be the case?
I feel like I have gone through periods where I have said
Or is more like generalized, maybe?
yes,
Yeah.
where I've been less specific, and I've just been like, it's like I feel like I still see this on the platform where creators will like, it's just
Yeah.
like very safe takes
Bro,
about,
bro.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying I've done that before.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I've done
No.
it before.
I'm just saying. When I see some of these reviews, these are just the bullet points that Apple has given you.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
and
And you would
it's
know
so-
because you get the same things, and you're just like, you just said what the email said.
I'll be
and
real
then
with you.
export.
Also, you know, I don't like doing people's work for them, and so when we have these briefings, I have a bunch of questions, And the first time I started getting, access to these briefings, I asked my questions, and then I noticed some of these cats took the information that I pulled and put it in. I pride myself on kind of asking questions that can reveal things that hopefully no one puts in their review, right?
So
I
are you
stopped
guys all in the
asking them-
briefings together?
It's a mix and match. It could be
You just say
it could-
something, they're like, huh, and write it down.
yes. So it becomes like an open forum.
Name names, Brian Tong.
Well, it's
No.
different depending on product and timing and even maybe your priority in their queue. I'm not sure exactly, but whatever. They're just briefings. So and every media outlet experiences these with certain products, right? Samsung has brief. This is nothing new. So I'm not like breaking it. It's a briefing that Samsung and Microsoft has.
Yeah. People
So
are
I
aware
just
that these
ended up
happen.
starting asking my questions after the briefings directly to them over email, even though I wish it was in person because I get more information that way. I just don't want people taking the nuggets that I've kind of asked about. And a great point is the whole recently in the MacBook Pro, there was those rumors from I think Steve Moser from Mac Rumors who had surfaced, hey, there might be a high power mode on the MacBook Pro.
Oh, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
No one asked that in the meeting.
That was Sammy Faithy, I think.
Oh, okay, sorry. I deliberately waited.
I could be wrong. I might have made that up.
That's okay. I would deliberately waited till after the briefing to ask that question. And then I looked in the settings, like, you got to do work for that, right? There's some like high tier reviewers that didn't even mention that. And I'm like, what? So to me, I do agree that there's a point where people get at a certain level, and this is no disrespect to them, okay, first of all, but they get a certain level where they can just basically put out a review. That's the bullet points that Apple gave them, and then throw in a few opinions. And they still work really hard, but maybe it's the reporter and the journalist in me that feels the need to dig and find something that maybe people aren't talking about.
Well, didn't
and
you go to
maybe that
school?
makes my report more, whatever. But also maybe that makes my review unique. And if 10 people see mine for the first time and say, hey, no one ever said that in their reviews of the 10 that I watched, and I saw in yours, that enables me to get someone new to watch my content in the future. So you got to work for that, but I get it. There's some people at a point where they don't quote unquote have to dig as deep. I think we should all pull from our personal experiences. Sam, I'm all behind you being like, own your opinions, whether people agree with them or not, and be more opinionated about your opinions, because that's what makes it different. Because we're competing against 100+ people with a review.
Yeah, that's it. And I used to tell this to the just like aspiring creators that I think there's an issue where you just think you appeal to more people if you're more general about stuff. And I always say, like, I forget the saying, but it's like if you try to reach everybody, you'll end up reaching nobody. And so being not like hyper targeted, but just like whatever your opinion is should come through in the title and the thumbnail, because an emotion is what's going to drive that click. And if it's just like MacBook Pro review, okay, fucking cool. There's 100 of those right now, probably more. And so leading with your opinion is usually the best thing to do, which is where you get, people trying to create emotion in their thumbnails with the ridiculous YouTuber face. We do it every single time. Brian, after the show is over, okay, we make a thumbnail, okay? And yes, exactly that, except we're all in the room together. Yes, it's the worst. It's like I make thumbnails for my videos, and Sam makes them for his. But then when we do them together on the podcast, it's just silence, and it's this. Yes,
Literally,
actually,
you can just
Sam,
do it now.
can you just use this?
Okay.
This is exactly
It's like
it.
the YouTube face isn't even a YouTube face. That's basically an O face, but you're just doing it for a YouTube still. It's a damn O
Dude,
face.
my
guys.
brain was like, what is an O face? And then I figured it out.
Do you think kids watch? I always think about that when we start talking about things, and I'm just like, am I a bad person?
No, what? No. If
Kids
you say
watch
stuff,
and you are a bad person.
yes, if kids are watching and you say
Possible.
some stuff, you're not the bad person. Their parents are the bad people for letting them watch Genius Bar.
Always blame the
Yeah.
parent.
It's always the
Yo,
parents.
I did I like to have fun with my audience, and I did a recent thing talking about a photo gallery, and I said, I have so many dig pics. And then right after that, I showed dinosaur fossils being dug up and saying, "This is my favorite sauropod. Here's the tail of a
Oh my god,
Spinosaurus."
it hurts.
And one of the comments, a guy's like, "How dare you? I had my kids watching. This is so," he said something. I can't remember exactly what his last phrase was, whether it was disrespectful or so disappointing. I've watched you for years. I responded and I said, "Dude, I said dig pics." He instantly deleted his comment.
Oh, what an idiot.
He must
Get
have
shit
freaked.
on.
He must have freaked out so hard when he heard dig pics
Yeah.
that
He just went
stopped it
straight
right
to
away.
the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
straight to the
stopped
comments,
right
clicked
away.
off the video. Like,
Didn't even
what
see it was a
big-
Spinosaurus
was it a big
fossil.
Stegosaurus?
It was
Or was it like a small?
Average.
Okay.
it had a pretty good length. Pretty good length.
What was the girth on that Stegosaurus, though?
But it's like, the people that love it and get it, and then you're gonna freak some people out, and you just got to be you and not worry about this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
No, that's like the number one piece of advice. I think I used to be like, just if somebody's like, what's one piece of advice you have for creators? I feel like even on this podcast, I'd be like, just keep trying. If you like, you truly love it, it'll like hopefully work out. But my new piece of advice
Is don't.
is is don't try in the first place. No. No, I think my new piece of advice is read the comments sometimes, but not regularly.
Yes, dude.
No, that's real. That's real.
Brian Tong, do you have for me, I don't know how to phrase the question, so I just gotta say what I do first. For me, like on my last video, that was a very important video to me that I worked hard on, and so I pretty much read all the comments. There's thousands on that video, but I on those videos I like to read all of them. But say it's a normal episode of Front Page Tech, I probably won't read all of them. I will read them like in the first 10 minutes to make sure there's nothing wrong with the video, because a lot of times there are, because I'm not a professional. I don't proof my episodes. But I have a rule where I will not read comments in the morning when I wake up, because my brain is very like malleable when I first wake up, and one could get in there and just fuck up my whole day. So I don't read comments in the morning. Do you have any rules like that you follow?
No, I try and read almost. I'll say I probably visit the comment section for the first 2 days, and I respond to people because I want them to know that I'm actually a living, breathing human that's there. If someone says something really ignorant, I will come back at them. And what I find fun is sometimes people in the comments see my response and my clap back, and they love it. They just start dying. And so I think that it takes more time, it takes more effort, but I feel like, hey, this person decided to watch my video for at least 5 minutes or so out of the 10 minutes or 12 minutes. I'm going to show them that, like, if I say that my audience matters, this is not an indictment on anyone. I'm going to engage with my audience, and they'll know that I'm a real person that does read their thoughts. And when I throw some of their comments in there, once in a blue moon when I have time, then they really know that I'm watching. And I just think it's fun to have this kind of dialogue, and I think it's healthy that I feel like maybe arguably my audience tends to feel like they know me, and it's strangers that have never seen my stuff before that write the real stupid ass stuff, and those are the ones that give me the opportunity to write some real stupid ass stuff back to them, but it's fun.
Yeah. Well, Brian Tong just made us look like absolute losers.
No,
I was just gonna
Brian
say,
Tong,
this
the
is like
professional,
Brian's
strikes
like-
once
but-
again.
But here's
Brian's
the thing.
like the dad that visits his kids, and we're like the dad that pays somebody to watch our kids.
Yeah. We went out for bread and milk, and no one's,
But I
we're
think
like
we're still at the
we're like that
store.
dad that's like, yeah, I promise I'll be at your baseball game, but he's not there.
He never really. It's the end of
Here's the
season,
thing.
and you got
comment sections are super toxic, and so I think what part of why I've been able to handle it, and I remember back at my old employer, there were some people that could not, like, comments will ruin people's days, right? But I developed being in a live newsroom where you will get cussed out just because you do the smallest thing. It really made me develop a very thick skin to
Yeah.
understand, like, the psychology. And this is by no means, this is not saying that I'm tough and other people are weak. Probably to my detriment, I built up a really tough skin from having a news director stare me in the face and cuss me out and make me feel like crap for multiple days. But when that is as bad, that's when it gets that bad. Some dude or dudette at their keyboard writing some stupid ass stuff literally makes me laugh. And You know,
Yeah.
they'll when they come at me, I'll just be like, "What are you doing with?" Some people like really get deep and like kind of criticize your life choices, and I'm like, literally,
Yeah.
I'm doing what I love. What are you doing with your life? You're writing, your anger crunching away at a keyboard.
Yeah.
I will sometimes, if their comment is so egregious and stupid, I will pin it so people see my response to it in the comments, and I love that shit.
I do that a lot
because-
too, where they're like, "This is such a stupid childish show." I'll usually pin that one.
Yeah. It'll be just so I mean, it's hard for me to remember. Oh, someone's like user's name was like Simone Biles, okay, the gymnast. And so when
Okay.
people do silly stuff like that and they wrote something like kind of nasty, I wrote, "Hey Simone, thank you for representing our country. You were amazing in the Olympics. I'm so glad you spoke up for mental health." I pinned that and people are like, "Ah, damn." Like, so that makes the comment section like a living thing of its own. Where even if I put one or two of those things up, people are like, "Oh, what is he gonna say to the dumbass next?"
Yeah.
Right? But it takes time and energy, and I think bad comments. I've been able to get to the point where they don't bother me. But look, I think it's very real, where you might have just a tough day, and a comment can mess my day up once in a while.
Yeah.
Typically, it doesn't, but they can. You know, we are humans. Something we might not be feeling our A game, and someone pokes that bear, and then it all comes like crumbling down. That is real.
Also,
know?
yeah, we're supposed to, like, our ancestors. We are built to know like 5 people in our whole lifetime. So, and then you have like thousands and thousands of people online saying that I left a biscuit on my shirt.
Yeah. The reason I've stepped away from comments, well, I used to clap back a lot, and every once in a while I still will for fun. And I talked to a lot of my friends about it, and they were like, "Dude, when you do that, they're winning. Like, because they're getting the attention that they want."
Yeah.
And that made me stop doing it. And that's how I've made peace with it. And then sometimes they just get me.
Yeah, well,
Or, like,
YouTube
if I
sends
see a
those
mean comment on
things.
John's video, sometimes I'll be like, "Stop being mean to my friend
Oh, yeah.
John."
That's
It
my
bothers
friend.
me. It is.
YouTube
But-
sends those things at the end of the year where it's like a summary of your channel or whatever, and there's always a part of that summary where it's like, "This is how many comments you responded to all year," and my number's like 8. It's like I responded to 8 comments in the year, and it's always that I'm just like, "Oh, so 8 people pissed me off enough to say something back." I see.
That's what I've learned though, is like every creator has a different relationship, right? And every creator knows their audience best. And it's like some people respond to everything, some people respond to nothing, some people
Yeah,
respond
well,
some
the
of
way
the time. And it's like you got to do what works for you.
It might make me
Because there's
sound
no
shitty.
right answer. Yeah.
It might make me sound shitty, but I feel like I did my job. Like I already talked to you. I made the video, and I put so much work into that. It takes you 15 seconds to write a comment. I'm not going to write back unless it's something crazy. But if there's a comment that is really high rated, or it's something that's repeated in the comment section, I will address it actually in the next episode, just so they know that I read. And like I tell people that watch Genius Bar, I read all the comments. I probably won't respond, but I do read them all. And especially on Genius Bar, because it's not like, we're not dealing with thousands of comments here, but I did my work. I made the whole episode for you. You're welcome. That's what I did. I did all my work. Speaking of, while we're on the subject, before we end the show, it's a long episode. The YouTube dislikes thing.
Oh, yeah.
How do we feel?
This. Not a fan.
Not a fan. Brian?
Not a fan.
Not a fan. I think they should keep the dislikes. I think it's a good.
Same.
I think it's a good metric to let people know if this video is also good or not. Hiding it, doing it for the creator's feelings. Was that
Bro,
kind of motivation?
I fucking hate
That's
that
just-
shit. Like,
that makes no sense.
are you that soft?
No,
like, if you
the-
can't handle that stuff, then why are you making stuff for public opinion if you can't handle the public opinion? Go
turn
fucking
off the
work
damn
at
You
Dillard's
might
or
as well
some
turn off the
shit.
damn You might as well turn off the damn comments if you're gonna hide.
That's
the
what I'm
dislikes.
saying. Go flip burgers or something
Well,
else.
That's my biggest counter. So first of all, I think people do handle hate differently, and it can be very impactful depending on where people are in their life. That's my stance.
True.
You have been able to disable showing likes and dislikes
yes.
for like 10 years.
yes.
So when YouTube's primary chief reason is we noticed that people were using dislikes as a way to wage war as an online internet game to downvote creators that were, they were basically like, these are good creators that are just getting hated on for no reason, which is a problem. Like
Yes.
the internet mob dislike bombing a video is a problem. If that creator doesn't want that to be, they were like, this could be embarrassing. This could be problematic. If they don't want that, they can turn it off.
Yes, and also if it's
not
for
like
the
YouTube
creator's
has been
mental,
like at gunpoint, like you better not touch that
Yeah.
dislike. Like
If
you've
it's-
got to show everybody how much of a f up you are. Like no, it's like you've been able to disable it. So I'm just like, why?
and if it's for the creator's mental health, how
now?
come the only place to see it is where the creator looks?
Exactly, John.
Mhm.
Exactly. That
Makes
was my
no
other
sense.
counterpoint. I'm like, wait, if it's about mental health, then you shouldn't show it to.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
It's a bad
it's for
call.
the creator's
It's a
mental
bad
health,
call.
so we're only going to show it to the creator. Okay, like
just
only they
feel-
will know.
I just feel like this policy or this change was implemented by like a parental user group. Like
Yeah,
not
it was like
actual-
all the parents came to the school
Yes.
and like was like, we
It's-
don't like our kids wearing jeans with holes in
it was
them.
like it's like the PTA for YouTube came up with this
Yeah.
dumbass policy. Like I get it. I'm 100% on the money, right? About the mental health issue and about positive reinforcement. I'm also here to tell you all that the world isn't all sunny and flowers. Like we have
Yes.
got to be able, and some of the soft stuff is extremely toxic. But to your point, you can turn off the dislikes if you don't want to see them.
Yes.
That's good. That's fine. Make
Yes.
that switch
Choice
even more
is
prominent.
important.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Make
Exactly.
that make it more prominent and fine. Address it to creators. If you don't want to deal with this, you have the choice to turn off and make it easier for them to do it. Don't bury it into like, setting nested, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
But we have
Exactly,
got
Brian.
to, we can lift, people can be stronger and just kind of figure this out for themselves. My God.
And I don't understand, like, these people, you want to be a creator and you want to start posting on YouTube and stuff, and you want the attention. Like, that's the whole thing you want. You would, people, if they just want to make videos because, oh, it's nice because I'm creative and it gives me an outlet. Okay, fuck off. Just export your video and post it on your desktop and watch it when you feel spicy.
Put it on
You're
on
posting-
Vimeo. Put it on
Yes,
Vimeo and get
you're
out
posting
here.
it. Why you laugh so hard, Sam? That's true though, dude. Just export the video, put it on your desktop.
Dude, because one of your fans is gonna be like, the fan's mom's gonna walk through me and be like, "What you doing?" Me like, "I'm just watching my video that I uploaded to my desktop." It's on
Exactly,
iCloud Drive.
dude.
You
You're
can
like,
find me on iCloudDrive.com/FPT.
yes, dude. That's where all the episodes go. But it's just like everyone's like, oh, I just do it
sad.
because I like it. I don't care about the views or the likes. I just do it because it's my outlet. I'm creative. I'm a snowflake. Then post it on your fucking desktop, you asshole. You're posting it in front of the public. I don't understand it. And then so you want the attention. But when it's like the attention to hurt your feelings, you're like, no, actually, I wanted this to be a one-way street. Okay, back to the desktop you go. You little
The
shit.
biggest thing for me is that the like and dislike was a measure of accountability. And
Yes, disproportionately. Like, I get there's like, I guess there was campaigns where like people are like, we dislike bomb a video, but most
Yes,
of the
that
time,
is a
that's not
problem.
what it is.
yes, but I also believe that's like probably a minority of cases. Like, I don't think most people dislike a video to hate
Yeah.
someone. I
And
think it's
now-
either because like something's bad or offensive and they disagreed. Like that's
And
what
people
dislike means.
still
I
know-
disagree.
They still know
Yeah,
that the creator
yeah.
can see it, but it's like, okay, this is logical thinking here. Okay, the creator can see it. So if I dislike it, he's still going to know. They're still going to know, he or she. They're still going to know I dislike the video. I don't like it. But in order for them to really understand that, because people are just disliking stuff right now because of the policy, so they're just like, we dislike it just to prove a point, I guess.
Yeah.
That means they're going to like hyper dislike the video. Like even more people are going to dislike it. So the creator isn't like misunderstanding the situation. All these people dislike your video, and now so like whatever dislike bomb we had before, now it's double, just to get the point across. Because the creator can still see it.
I'm trying to look at my analytics and see if I can see an uptick or anything in
When are they implementing the policy? Actually, when are they flipping?
It
the
happened,
switch
I
on?
think.
Oh, it
Yeah,
actually
it's
happened
out.
already.
my new video definitely has like a worse like to dislike ratio. To be fair, I said some controversial things, so it's probably
Yeah.
that.
Well, people
You-
were
you-
making fun of me yesterday because my video went out.
Even-
Apple sucks now, and it's your fault. And they're like, "How convenient he put this video out on the same day they removed dislikes." I completely forgot about it, but that's how I know because they let me know.
Yeah, I just think it's a mistake. And
Do you
part
think
of
they'll
me is
backtrack
like
at all?
I hope. I
In
mean,
my heart says yes.
Okay.
My brain says no.
Okay. Yeah.
My
How about
friend
this? How
brought up
about
a good
this?
point.
oh, go ahead. Sorry, Sam. Keep saying.
no,
really
you
quick.
go, Brian.
No, I was like, how about this? They're gonna give us. They're gonna give us the
No.
option to toggle it back on if we want to, but we're gonna have to find it deep into the freaking settings.
Hey, whatever it
yeah.
takes. Whatever it takes. I would.
so
I
be
would
off
go
by
through 7.
default, but you can.
That's
toggle
what
it
they
on.
should do. Yes.
yes,
You just
yes,
fixed the
they
whole
should-
problem. Brian Tong, everybody. He just fixed the whole problem. He fixed
I
the
said
dislike
this in my
problem.
article about it. Literally, my exact quote that I wrote was, "Yeah, just to allow them to do this." And I think I said it
Off
should
by
be-
default, and then let the creators turn it on individually. That's a genius idea that fixes the whole problem. Brian
Yeah,
Tong's a
or I
genius.
said that in my head. I don't think I wrote it, but I said
Yeah,
that.
I'm
in
pretty
my
sure
head.
you didn't.
Yeah. Thank you. Hey, I'm gonna dislike Brian Tong for that one.
Yeah.
Do it. I'll freaking create 10 accounts and dislike this damn podcast video right now. Don't even challenge me. Don't even challenge me.
My friend made a good point though, which made me think about things a little bit differently. My friend Jake, we were talking about it. He's like, yeah, it's a little annoying. Like, oh, did it happen already? And he was like, to be fair, YouTube's like the only platform that really has dislikes.
What?
Like,
That's-
you can't dislike on Twitter. You can't dislike on Instagram. You can't dislike on Snapchat. I guess you can technically dislike with like the angry thing on Facebook.
I mean, they are.
Did you
but-
used to
so
dislike?
Twitter-
You used to be able to dislike on Facebook, and they took that away. I thought.
Yes, and Twitter is integrating dislikes now.
But that's what I'm saying is like currently it's really nowhere else but YouTube. Now, maybe
I
it's gonna
think the
come to more
different.
places,
Okay,
but-
I think the disconnect there is time, because on Instagram you're just scrolling through, and if you don't like it, you keep scrolling. And you just okay, yeah, I like this. The whole point is you're just liking what you like, and you move on. That's the point. But on YouTube, you're investing a certain amount of time, whether it be 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, fucking 2 hours with this podcast. The least you can do is give someone a way to communicate that goes, or just up or down. That's it. Obviously, ideally, we want to comment, but the easiest thing is just like, I like this or I didn't. That's it.
Yeah. No, it should come back. Like I fully.
It's a
still believe
transaction. It's like, it's not a one-way street. We just put out this whole video. You had to listen to us talk about all sorts of shit. Do you like it or not? That's it. That is their input.
And then did you see the like some creators were like, good, I've been waiting on this for years. Everyone knows likes and dislikes are useless. And I was like, what? Like
In what-
that's
Yeah,
literally the
what
way I know
world?
if I did a good job. Because well, okay. For me, like the likes and dislikes is like a general. Like on a lot of my hidden features videos, they get more dislikes because people are like, these aren't hidden features, these are just review.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Clickbait.
that's fair criticism. I may disagree. So like and also like the more views your video gets, obviously the percentage goes way down the more it hits
Yeah.
the mass market and not your base,
Yeah.
not the echo chamber. But like I've made an offensive joke before where like I noticed there were like more dislikes or just like said something that like the video got more dislikes. And
Was it about
that
Asians?
was-
Because I may not come back on this show,
no, I
and your
made
diversity report will look very poor.
Yeah. You could-
I feel like the two
ruin our
biggest.
show.
I feel like my two biggest bad takes on YouTube were one, I made what was essentially like a trans joke, like an anti-trans joke. That was not the intention, and that was not what the goal of it was, but that was what it was. So that was something that I was made aware of. The second thing that I messed up on that I was able to correct is like a bad take on like work from home, because I was like, everybody should be back in the office at Apple. And it was just like a very uneducated take. And then I was like, wait, I literally work from home. Like my mom works from home. Like,
How
it's
have you been
important.
canceled more than me?
I
I think it's because
know.
you actually feel bad if I say something offensive, people are like, "That's messed up." I go, but you actually
Well, yeah,
you're like, you know what? I will think about this like a rational human.
Yeah, because the thing that gets me is I've let myself down, and especially when I'm basically the trans joke that I made. I was like, it was when new emojis came out, and I was like, you can be Romeo and Romeo, Juliet and Romeo, Julie and Juliet, or Juliet and Attack Helicopter, and it was like, it's like 7th grade humor, and I was like, oh, ha ha, ha Attack Helicopter, because to me, let me just say this argument in full, which was I was like, oh, the idea that someone could identify as an attack helicopter is objectively funny. Like that is a
Yes.
funny idea that someone could wake up and believe that. The comments were like, dude, that's like the number one argument people use against my identity as a trans person. And I was like, oh, fuck, I completely missed the point. Because yes, the idea that I could say I identify, but then I thought about every time I've heard rich and powerful people make that joke, it's all when they're saying, so you can't be a girl, you can't just be a boy. And that's fucked up to say on somebody else's identity. And that was like a very big learning moment for me where I was like, I had the right intention to make a funny joke. What I was actually doing was, and like I was going to say, the comments that really got me is they were like, it wasn't even like, it was personal. They were like, Sam, we thought you were better than this. It wasn't even like, fuck you, trans hater, like go to hell.
They were
was
just
like,
disappointed.
Yeah, they were like, we thought you were one of the good ones. And that was where I was like, fuck, dude. That is worse than, I feel like cancel culture could be so much more effective if people were just like genuinely showing their disappointment rather than being like, cancel them, hate mob attack. Like that's so stupid.
On a couple episodes.
It was a very big moment for me in my career, honestly.
A couple episodes ago on Front Page Tech, I was making fun of Netflix games. And I said, because Netflix launched their Apple Arcade competitor, and they launched with like 5 games. I was like, Netflix, you can't go against Apple and launch with 5 games. They have like 300 games on Apple Arcade. And I was like, if you want to compete in this space, you got to come out guns a-blazing. You got to come out like Alec Baldwin. And people were not happy about that joke.
Bro, you made that joke?
In my head, hilarious joke.
Bruh, that's something I say to a friend.
Yeah, well, that's what Front Page Tech is. I just stuff I say to my friends. And
notice guys, how I have none of these stories?
Yeah, because you're a professional.
I'm like, what?
Dude, I
think Brian knows when to censor himself.
Yeah, so with Karina,
he's also a better person.
I mean, Front Page Tech. There's a couple jokes where I like push the edge, and that's the fun part for me. But I have Karina, and I'll call her PR Karina, and I'll call her in. Like if I'm editing the show, and I'm like, I don't know about this one. I'll call her. I'll be like PR Karina, and she'll come in and she'll watch it without context and tell me yes or no to keep it in. And she told me yes. She said it would be fine. It was not fine.
So you're gonna put the blame on PR Karina?
Yes, that's
Alec
why
Baldwin
she's
joke.
PR Karina.
You know what? Sometimes I've done when I evaluate jokes and I like look at it, I'll be like, literally, I'll say to myself, "Is this worth it?" Meaning, will this?
I didn't do that.
No, like right, like, but it's one thing that has helped me. Like, is this worth saying or not? Right, just to have fun and feel like that I'm being true to myself. But there's been a couple times where I've actually taken it out and, at the end, it doesn't hurt anyone. It was just what this silly idea happened in my mind. And we have the power to edit it. And sometimes, when we're on the fly, like in a podcast, we don't edit things, but I kind of feel that's one of the metrics that I use. Like, is this joke worth it?
That's really good.
That's a way to think about it. And maybe it helps you. Maybe, hey, if you think it's worth it, you're going to say it anyways. Cause that's, as creators, we do want to push the envelope a little bit, like, and say certain things that are still true to how we feel. And sometimes you want to just have fun. And like,
that's why I say
people.
It because like Front Page Tech is a tech show, I guess, but it's really just the John Prosser show. And I talk about tech sometimes, I guess, but that's the whole point. Is just like, there's no one in tech making jokes that are that like, should I say this? Like, I took a chance on one the other time that actually, like last week, that did pay off. I was like, so in today's episode, I have good news and bad news. K. And I go, oh shit, I was 1K away from getting canceled on that one. Took a chance with that joke,
one's okay.
And people loved it. Yeah.
No one
loved that one.
I mean, the KKK did kill a lot of people, but they didn't happen to kill. They didn't happen to kill someone like just. Like a day ago with a gun.
Dude, I waited like 5 days. It's fine.
Dude, I gotta wait. That's
timing is
9/11 jokes. 9/11 jokes still don't fly around some people.
Oh no, 9/11 jokes are not funny.
No, let's not do 9/11 jokes, guys. I'm here
9/11 jokes are never funny. I feel like they're never
Sam,
funny.
I'm here to tell you as a friend and as someone who's been doing this for a long time, let's stay away from. Is it worth it? No. Hell no.
Dude,
I feel
Brian
like it's been
Tong, I
long
hope you're
enough for a
prepared. I'm going to
9/11
start
joke.
sending you like drafts, edits of front page stuff. You're like, is this worth it?
I'm not here to
See?
be your editor. I'm here to be your friend and peer.
No.
I ain't here to be your editor.
See, this is why you need to have friends around you to vet your ideas, because sometimes we get a little bit, us creatives get a little bit crazy, and we need
Oh, it's
people to be
hard.
like, "Yo," and I feel like I feel like it's important to hear those perspectives.
It's
and,
a very
and I always
we
appreciate
live in a
them.
very insulated world.
Yeah. And I also I feel like some people could watch this conversation and take away, they'd be like, comedy isn't funny anymore. You can't say anything. And like I feel like that's always like never the take that is like, I feel like that's never what I want people to come away with. It's all because it's never like what we're saying in these conversations. It's like, it's not like you can't make that joke. Like that's not what we're saying. John can make that Alec Baldwin joke. You can make a
And I did.
9/11 joke. Yeah, and in some cases you do. But I really like Brian's like a framework of like, is this worth it? Because it's like maybe it's just not a good enough joke, right? Like the best
Yeah,
comedy,
I would have said, if I would have asked
best
myself
comedy
that,
is
I would have said the Alec Baldwin joke wasn't like, it didn't really add that much to the show. It wouldn't have been worth it. I want to cut it.
but that's the thing
But
about
damn it,
comedy
I
is,
still
like,
think it's funny.
yeah, it's a
Look,
the-
I still think it is honestly funny. I mean,
It is funny.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
I mean, also, you know, some of us come from a generation where, look, there's stuff that I've seen in movies from literally maybe just even 10 years ago that I'm like, ooh, you could not do that anymore, right? And so
Yeah,
when
it's
you've
just, like,
been,
bad.
when
Like, have you
you've-
ever watched The Office back in 2021?
Was there a lot of sexual harassment
It's
stuff
rough.
going on in there?
It's very rough.
Steve Carell has gone on the record. He said we could not make this show today,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
was like
yeah.
2017 when he
Which
said
makes
that.
me very sad.
Yeah.
Fuck people.
So it's like,
Well, yes and no. Yes and no.
yeah,
No,
like
fuck 'em.
it's we look. I think it's important, and to Sam's point of saying like, oh, you can't be funny more. You can be funny, but is it harder to be funny? I think so, but that's okay.
Yes.
We have to evolve as people.
That is our job, yes.
right. That's part of
that's
the
my
thing.
number. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Ryan.
No,
What do you wanna say?
no, you're good.
Okay, I just want to make sure. No, because that's my number one counterpoint is to the people like Dave Chappelle or the Joe Rogans. They're like, cancel culture, woke mob. And it's like, hey, maybe you just need to evolve with comedy. Like, that's my number one, like,
I think
clapback.
there's a balance though, because we can't
No,
just
no,
let
there is.
Yeah, there
There
has
is.
to be
I'm not-
pushback, or else the wave is gonna override us all.
No,
Agreed.
I agree. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, you can only make certain jokes. You can't. No, the whole point of comedy is to push boundaries.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But also, when an audience doesn't like it, just be like, okay, bad joke. Like, I
Mhm.
feel like it's like, my ego is crushed. Fuck them. I'm bad. It's like, dude, sometimes you're a human. You can just make a bad joke. It's okay. Like,
Also-
that's the whole thing. Where it's like, cancel culture isn't real. It doesn't exist. These people still have careers.
Yeah.
It's just accountability. And
They're not canceled.
some
They're
people
just in
want to.
timeout.
Exactly. That's why
by
it's
the
so
way,
goofy when people cry about it.
Alec Baldwin is a comedian, and why he can make jokes all the time about whatever he wants.
John's
but
trying
if
to
someone
dig
makes a
himself
joke
out of this
about
one.
Alec Baldwin,
I mean, he
they're
did.
like,
he
"That's
did-
not fair. It's
But
too
some-
soon."
It is too soon when someone died 5 days ago.
I didn't make fun of the DP. I made fun of Alec Baldwin.
I know the situation. Like we
Yeah,
said,
but
hey,
that's
we all
what we're-
agreed. Look,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't a bad joke, but we all said
Nope.
the question was it worth it? And you agreed probably wasn't worth it.
But that's why I'm a sick fuck, because I would say this isn't worth it. But would it make it in? That's the question. I battle inside. I would
mean-
agree with you. I'd be like, this is not worth it. But it's funny.
Look, I
that's
think
the
we all learn we also learn the boundaries of our audience. Different audiences
Yeah.
respond differently to different things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. Like where you live in the United States, different
Mm.
jokes work very differently.
Yeah.
Depending who's in the room and what they look like, different jokes work very
Yeah.
differently.
For
Like
sure.
Well, thanks to Genius Bar for being the most diverse podcast in tech. I
don't know
actually
about
think
that.
it might be right now.
What? We got a really
No, it's
white
not.
guy, a kind of white guy, and an Asian
Yeah.
guy. Is that our
don't
diversity?
put me. Hey, who's the really white guy? who you calling the really white guy?
No, I'm
You don't have to answer. Hey
I
guys,
wonder.
thank you for watching.
I'm leaving that up to your interpretation.
With that said, I think this is the longest episode of Genius Bar ever, and
No,
we
we went longer before.
Did we really?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why we
Just
gotta
the
have
two-
guests on more often. Because like I enjoyed all of this. There wasn't
dude,
a minute when I was like, I
it
want to
was
go.
what a pleasure to share 2 hours and 19 minutes with Brian Tong.
And that's the
Yeah.
thing about Brian
What-
is
what a
every time I
pleasure.
talk to him, I feel like I'm learning a lot of different things. And I bet you guys watching.
Dude,
learn a
I
lot
gotta
too.
go reevaluate a lot of my life. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
No,
gonna get
what
off
are you
the show
guys
and be like,
talking about? No.
how can I be more professional?
No, it's not-
How can
it's
I be
not
more
about
like
that.
Brian
No, it's not
Tong?
about
Is this
professional.
worth it?
That's not about being. It's no.
It's about how you can continually be the best version of yourself. I think that's who Brian Tong is. I think Brian is consistently the best version of himself.
Well, that's because he's like 183. Like
I've seen a lot.
he's
Guys, I've
he's
seen
had a lot of time to evolve.
I have a
Dude.
lot of experience.
On his show last week, I don't know if we did it on air or like before the show, but Brian,
I put it
Sam
on there.
and I
put it-
both
put it
mentioned
on.
like we had
Put it
been
in the
watching
podcast.
Brian Tong since we were wee lads, and then we were like, wait, how old is Brian Tong if we've been watching him for this long? And so Brian was like, guess how old I am? I think I guessed like 28. Sam guessed 35. We were both fucking wrong,
Hey, you're 42, right?
Yes, I am.
but
Yeah, I'm
he,
proud of it.
But okay, do you have a skincare routine or like?
I
What's
told
the-
you what my skincare routine is. I sacrifice a pig every morning. I draw the blood and smear it on my face. Then I take a
Hell
fresh
yeah.
grapefruit and I squeeze the citrus. And that combination allows some sort of rejuvenation within my soul. Like I actually
just
thought,
works.
I actually thought when I started doing YouTube that I would age like a mother because these hours are not kind, right?
No, they are not.
It's a brutal. People don't understand. It requires a lot.
My
Um,
my last video, the Apple Sucks video, I was up for like 35 hours straight, and Sam didn't even fucking watch it
Yeah, neither
Why
did
would
I.
you be up? Why didn't you?
because
just work
it was
separate
something
by
that I cared
separate?
about. And
Yes.
dude,
Yes,
when you're working
I
on
get
a
it.
video like that, I don't know if you guys have ever had this, but when you're just like
Mhm.
you're excited about it, even when you lay in bed, you're just like, wait, no, I think I could do this differently, or I could say this differently,
Yep.
and you just get up, and then 35 hours later, you're like, oh, I haven't slept.
Great
Oh,
example.
no,
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Sam.
No, I was gonna say I've done that before, but like not. I'll just like go to bed and be like, I'll finish in the morning. Go
No.
continue.
I think you know how we're all like at the mercy of the YouTube algorithm and everything. So like, I
Mhm.
did a video. It took me, I kid you not, a week to make. It was it was an AirPods Max video where I basically used these special binaural mics to capture
Oh, yeah,
what
yeah.
4 headphones sounded like to give people at home. Hopefully it worked. Right? I didn't really know if it was
Yeah.
gonna work. You're recording all this stuff. You're grinding your butt off, and I was
Yeah.
so proud of that. But it was a 56-minute video. Okay. And I jokingly said, like, hey, some of you made it through this. And the biggest, to me, the biggest moment of pride in that video for me was when multiple people would say, like, I watched the whole damn thing. And it's one of my best
Yeah.
performing videos. But like, that doesn't look, I could have done that video, spent a week for it, and it could have got less views than any other video I put out as well. Right?
Yes.
Like, you know, you just never know. So I feel like you just got to kind of pursue this, do what you love, and really try not to care about results. I know some friends that are so obsessed with the algorithm, it just doesn't
Oh my
make it fun.
God.
It doesn't make it fun for me anymore.
Yeah.
Even
That's me.
honestly,
Yeah.
okay, no, you don't talk to. Well, thank goodness you don't talk to me about it. But when someone talks to me
no,
about,
I'm telling you now, though, it's me.
but it is our livelihood. That's why we care about it. And there are
Yeah.
certain practices that are best for the algorithm. And even at the same time, you could do everything right and the video doesn't perform as well or as normal as your
Yeah.
others. And it's also, look, there's other competition out there as well. But maybe it's bad of me. It's probably actually detrimental, but I don't care. For my own sake, I kind of stopped caring about the algorithm as much.
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
don't feel bad about that. That's where I want to be. I want to be in that mindset, like sooner rather than later would be great.
But it's hard. Like, it's our livelihood. Like, when I have a bad month,
Yeah.
I care more about it, but I keep on telling myself, you know, F the algorithm, just do your best. It sounds so corny, but it's like you
Mhm.
sometimes have to tell yourself these things to power
Yeah.
through. And then you get a
Yeah.
video that sometimes I love the videos that you don't think are going to do great. And then they do like
Mm.
way better than you expect. You're like, what?
And then you work real
Mm.
hard on one and nobody gives a single shit.
That's how I
Well,
feel about my AirPods comparison. I worked on that video probably 25 hours, like total, which is like a lot more than I probably put normally like 5 to 7 hours into a video. I work with like 15,000 views. I made $170 for 25 hours of work.
Oh no!
And sometimes
Bro.
that's how it goes.
Exactly.
And a lot of we've talked about this before in the show. Some people will be like, "Why didn't my audience watch this?" Or like get really mad. It's like, hey, maybe people just weren't into it. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was the algorithm. Maybe it was all these things. Maybe it was none of these things. It's okay to have a shit video sometimes. My audience isn't going to give up on me because I made one video that didn't perform. Whatever. So I made a video the next day, got like 90,000 views. So it's like, doesn't even matter. It's irrelevant.
Yeah. So that's why I remember when I told you guys sometimes I put out videos knowing they're going to be like they won't perform well, but I just do it for the love of it. Like, you know, I love Marvel movies. I know like my channel says tech geek culture, but you know, it's mostly tech. And so when I drop one of these like Shang-Chi videos, I know it's not going to do well at all. Like when I talk about dog doo-doo, it's like, you know, this is like a in-depth, really crazy interview that you'd arguably see like in the DVD bonus features. And I literally put out like 2 days ago, right? It has 3.5K views. You know how much that hurts? But I did it because I just want to. Prosper's like, I will never release a video that gets that many views in 3 days. But you know what?
But also, you got a fucking dope ass interview.
Yeah,
I would do it for that.
Yeah, it was like the head of visual concept design.
That's what I'm saying.
Literally does all the all the costumes you see in the MCU movies. He's one of 2 guys who is the lead that says, yeah, this is what Thanos is going to look like. This is what Captain America is going to look like. This is what Shang-Chi is going to look like.
Yeah.
That's fascinating to me. And sometimes videos like that have done well, like literally 2 years later for God knows why. And sometimes they don't.
I was going to say, that one will probably out of nowhere be like, what the?
Yeah. But,
what?
You know, guess what? It's not the core of my audience, but I just need to do other things for my own sanity. And I think that as I've done this more, I stop caring about that does make me a little warm when I see that. But then when I put out probably my next Apple video, it'll do just fine as normal. And I won't care anymore about that. The fact that it didn't perform as well because I did that for myself. I don't think it's the best strategy for people. I'll be the first person to say that, but I got to feel like I control this.
I have things down to like a science. Like I know, first of all, I won't do a video if it's not going to get 100,000 views. That's just, I sound like an asshole.
Well, that's how he is, Brian.
You said livelihood, but also more than anything, the number bugs me. Like the videos all in a row, and then you have one that has like 80, and I'm like, fuck me, dude. Just like not even real life OCD, just like I have asshole OCD, and so that's like.
John,
it just has to fit.
John,
but I have it down to a science, Brian.
You guys, look, I see your guys' content, and the thing that I appreciate about you guys is I know you don't buy views. I can't stand those mofos that are buying views.
Can you even buy views anymore? Oh wait, never mind.
Oh yeah. We're doing it. We have like an open case, and like Brian, if you want to, we finna expose some of these folks that be little
I will censor this.
Like
future me. Remind me tomorrow at noon to censor the part of the podcast. I'm not going to forget this.
Slithering through the algorithm, buying views on Facebook to boost videos. Oh, dude, Quinn was dropping knowledge about this when we had him on the podcast.
If
I just learned so much from guests.
Without giving you like a name of a channel, if I said like iPhone 13, the end of Facebook, does a channel pop up into your head?
No comment.
Okay.
What,
well, that's all I'm saying.
What about iPhone 13, the end of Google?
iPhone 13, the end of iPhone.
What about iPhone 13, the end of Amazon?
Yeah.
What about iPhone 13,
you
the
guys,
end of... What about the end of the world? They're just going to run out of ideas.
No, they won't. They're just doing it again.
You guys, I love you all, but I think we should also say iPhone 13, the end of this podcast. It's been going on for...
Oh, I almost passed out. That was almost very, very bad.
I really love you guys. But...
What if I passed out on the show?
What if I said iPhone 13, the end of this podcast, but the beginning of a beautiful, beautiful relationship with Brian Tong? And thank you, Brian Tong, for being on the episode.
Hang on.
The fact that I had to end it and you guys didn't speaks to
Dude.
my professionality.
That's what I'm
The
saying,
audience
dude.
is gonna hate you. The audience is gonna hate him. They want more. They
I know.
always want
They
more.
were probably like, "Oh my god, this is so amazing." Then Brian Tong. Wait, no, this doesn't count as like him standing us up because he did come to the show, but he's just leaving
Yeah.
the date early. He's doing the thing. He took us to Cracker Barrel, dude.
No.
Yeah, that's what just happened.
I just broke up with your asses.
Okay, Brian Tong, thank you
We
so much
just
for
got
being on the show.
broken
I mean,
up,
I feel like we don't need to like, Brian, where are you from? Because everyone knows who Brian Tong is, but
I mean,
you have the
whatever, they
floor.
if you've
Mr.
seen my
Tong.
face, if you've seen the skunk stripe, youtube.com/Brian Tong. I'm independent now. I feel fortunate to be a part of this community and still be able to do this. And I don't get 100K views on every single one of my videos like John Prosser or Sam, but I do
Okay.
pretty decent.
I also don't get 100K. Just speak.
Also, Apple Bits LX. Make sure to search
Come on,
exactly
guys.
that. At
No,
this
is there
point,
anything
dude,
you want to plug or promote? Like, is there anything specific you want to like tell people to like follow, or just like basically YouTube and your podcast?
Hey, if you love like an old head who doesn't look old, who's been around for a while, that covers the tech space, but Apple and
met
beyond,
Steve Jobs.
Google, Samsung, just come on, hang out with me, and have some fun, and we'll do great things together.
yeah, basically,
Oh.
if you want like what you came to John and Sam for, but like you want it actually delivered to you, Brian Tong's the guy.
If you want to get your package, go to Brian Tong.
Yeah.
If you want to think about your package being really cool and maybe like super shiny, then you go to John and Sam.
All right.
Brian, thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thanks, y'all. It was
And,
always
we
fun,
love
man.
you.
That was fun. We'll do it
And
again.
we
I feel
gotta
like
have
we
you
got to
on
do
again.
like a telethon live stream on YouTube and do a fundraiser, and I think it would be
Whoa,
amazing,
we
actually.
should. We should do a fundraiser. I want to do more philanthropy next year. And I didn't do I didn't do a single fundraiser this year.
I think a fun
Never too
telethon
late.
or something. I don't know. I feel like we could literally talk for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could go 24
Yeah.
hours probably.
I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed.
I give it like
Okay.
a work day, but I don't know about 24, man.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly. Like
I
even
got-
8
no,
hours
I'm
live
cutting it.
streaming.
It's over, Sam.
I want to die. I can't.
Actually,
I'm so bad at live
dude, let's just take
streaming,
next
dude.
week off and just cut this up into 2 parts. Part 1 this week, part 2 next week.
That's what they did
Good.
with the
That would give you.
Kanye
That would give
interview.
you some breathing room. I would
We
go
should.
for that.
We have
It's
never missed
Thanksgiving
a week, Brian.
Neither have I.
Yeah.
Never?
And we could just splice the
Thank-
ads into different parts of the second hour.
Yeah. Well,
No,
of
we
course,
gotta get the
Brian
people what
Tong
they
hasn't missed anything. He's an actual professional.
For my own sanity, I guess. My goodness.
Yeah.
Detriment.
My
to
goodness.
All right, guys. It was great talking. I love you. Thank you, Brian. Thank
See you next
John,
week.
for
We'll
joining
hear
us
you
at the
next
Genius
week.
Oh my
Bar.
whatever
gosh!
you
What
do.
time is it? Is it 12? Is it midnight for you
Yeah.
guys?
This is normal though. This is normal.
Yeah, Brian.
Geni-
This. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a problem. I was
It was
just.
fun.
This
It
is
was
why I
just
would
fun.
because that's what it is, John. We were talking at the beginning of the episode. I think it was pre-show. I was like, I feel like we filmed too late. That's what it is. We never start too late. It's that we finish too late, and then
yes.
it's like 1 a.m. and I'm like a slob, and I've been like dehydrating
is-
slowly.
This is the
because
this
my
is the
water's
complete
been
opposite
empty.
of our YouTube channels, though. That's why everyone loves it. Okay.
Thank you, guys. I love you.
Thank you, Brian Tong.
Goodbye.
Lay
Fine.
y'all.